This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
Welcome to Dead Radio.
We're not doing that.
How did she come to have sex with a dead man?
Don't call me Radio Unit 91.
You're a dead man. You're a dead man!
He's God here in this radio station.
Place where the dead speak.
Rebel Radio!
I'm a fake? Yes. How'd you like to be dead?
You ever think about doing radio?
My team is dead!
But you're not crazy. You're me. And this is just radio.
By the powers vested in me by the Federal Communications Commission, I command you to get on the microphone in a serious manner and continue this broadcast.
All right.
All that and only 4 minutes late. It's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad at all. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. I guess I was too obsessed with finding a mask.
Yeah.
You had some pretty good ones there.
The funny thing is, like, had I thought of it, you remember when I was Ghost from Call of Duty for Halloween?
Yeah.
That would have been
face
perfect.
mask, yeah.
We were
It's
thinking Chewbacca, but we didn't have any.
That would have been
I
hot.
don't have a that would have been really hot.
So
But,
the disembodied voice you're hearing is Walt. He's not right here.
Yeah.
I'm elsewhere.
He's on that microphone. It's
Yeah.
it's really confusing already for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a hard time.
Because I just looked at the two of them and I already got confused. So,
Just a voice.
Yeah. So we'll just go with it.
Yeah,
There is a person that has a sensitive
reasons to be
position
behind
and
the
cannot
camera-
be
behind the-
associated with this show.
Yeah. They want to be on the show,
I couldn't imagine why.
Yeah.
but yeah.
So they will not be associated in name or visually with the show because we are horrible people. And he's a
You are
professional
very
man.
funny.
Yeah.
We just bet you don't know that yet.
Yeah.
No, I saw this. I saw the stuff, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I get a call. It's like, does the
I was
dildo
thinking
have
like-
to be on the table? Or?
I was thinking like NPR, and that is not what happened.
No.
Well, at least you did your homework.
Yeah,
You
some
did.
people just
You
don't.
did.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
He's like, yeah, I'll do it.
I said I'm psyched for it if you are. I mean, it's always kind of been a dream of mine, actually.
Yeah. Till
Gotta search
wait,
someone.
To be on a podcast?
Yeah, yeah.
you're a big podcast fan there, Walt?
I am.
Oh.
I am a big.
What are
podcast
some of
fan.
your favorites?
Well, I like Sound Opinions. I like Tiny Desk Concerts. I like the
Smart
This-
people stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. I would
Yeah.
say so.
I listen to dumb people stuff.
but it's
like
so
your
long.
your mom's house and Dungeons and Dragons shows.
Yeah, I probably listened to 12 hours of Joe Rogan Experience in the last 24.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So no, like Pre-Pajara, Stay Tuned, that kind of thing.
No, I listen to Hi-Fi Nation, which is like a philosophy one, but that's only because he's like a Vassar professor, and I'm trying to get him on the show.
Yeah, that's exactly why I don't listen to podcasts is for boring shit like that.
Yeah, that one sounded right up my alley.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Nation's a really good one.
I'll check
It's
it
like
out. Did you-
philosophy in the modern age.
That sounds great. There's this one, the Buddhist Society of Western Australia.
Yeah, I'm not listening to
Oh
that.
man, no, that one's life changing. But so you want to talk about like obscure podcasts? Is that
No,
I mean,
want to
we're
talk
pretty
about
obscure.
booze.
We're really obscure.
we're from the same hometown.
So, we're here with Queen City Farming Distillery. Walt is the man.
Farming Distillery?
What did I say?
You said farming distillery.
Farm
Just
Distillery.
farm distillery.
Oh, Christ, then. Sorry. Already off to a great start. Queen City Farm Distillery. The man behind the curtain is Walt. He will go by Walt. And we have, at the head of the table, we have Brad. And to my left, we have Dan. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
See, I'm really good with names.
Did well.
Not saying things properly, just
Great.
remembering
Yeah.
names. So, Don, how did you... So
Fair.
you guys are relatively new. How
Yeah.
new are you?
So we just actually came out with our bottle for sale last month for the first Poughkeepsie First Friday.
Okay, so that was like an exclusive thing.
That was
right?
it. We just kind of, it was our coming out party. And we sold, 28 bottles. It was a great start to everything. And kind of, we're going to be going out this Friday. The problem is that we all kind of have other jobs, and so it's a very slow process when you're, or some of us have multiple jobs.
You are admirable.
Thank you. Thank you, Walt. So it has definitely stifled the proper growth because we have a pretty good product, I think, and obviously it comes down to marketing and getting it out there and figuring out drinks like we were talking about earlier.
Well, you guys had First Friday was like that was a primo spot. They give you we walked in and you were pretty much like one of the first vendors that we saw.
Really?
And I'm like, look, Brooke, they're selling booze, and she just ran over like a little kid. And
we were giving it away for free as well, so that was also very popular for that.
But it's great stuff. I loved it. Brooke loved it as well. It's definitely.
Well, we brought a whole bunch of lot of different tastes.
Yeah, I see that, and they're all in jars. We're accustomed to drinking things out of jars because Chad constantly sends us stuff to taste, So my first real question is, it's the Apple Sunshine. That's the one, right? That's the one you have right now.
Right, that's what's out there
That's
now.
being
So
sold.
you have, and we're just doing the organic run now, just because last season. So Brad's actually the
farm
he's the
side.
farmer.
Okay.
He does all the apples.
Oh, no
and-
kidding.
Yeah, so we grow apples, cherries, peaches, pears, things like that.
Okay.
So we kind of teamed up about a year and a half ago, trying to get this off and running, I guess.
Are you guys friends? Did you know each other, or just kind of?
We didn't actually. Well, we met through Mark.
Uncle Mark, as we like to call him.
Uncle Mark?
He's my wife's uncle, and
Oh,
he was
okay.
doing some things with Marlboro, which is or Milton.
Milton, well, same.
Same. They met up, and he kind of, I guess you were talking about the possibility of
Doing
teaming
it,
up.
yeah. And he said, "Oh, I got somebody you got to meet. You got to come.
Oh, weird.
Check this out."
Just kind of.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
great fit.
it was
He had
good
the
timing.
What do they
apples,
call
good
that?
fit.
Serendipity.
Serendipitous, absolutely. Yes.
Kismet.
Sure.
Wow, that's great. What a way to get linked up with the actual freaking farmer. That's crazy. So you don't have
It's
to
a shame
actually.
he's not here because he's sort of like, in many ways, the glue of it all.
Uncle Mark.
Yeah, I believe he's the
yeah.
one that I met and talked to
Yep.
because I didn't meet any. of
He
you
runs our
guys until
social
today.
media and
Yeah.
everything, and
Okay.
he does
Okay,
great.
yeah, so he put me in touch with you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
So he's okay. So it worried me that he was just Uncle Mark, like he was just younger than you guys. And everybody called him Uncle Mark.
The dude's like a marketing.
Is he a pedophile?
he's had like a really.
But he's an
interesting
actual
life.
uncle.
Yeah,
He is an
That's
actual
good.
uncle.
He's an actual uncle to none of us here, but he is
Right.
uncle.
Well, that's cool. And just like that, boom, boom. A year later.
Probably not just like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime.
So it's really difficult to get like a distilling license. Mostly federally, it's not too bad, especially with the new farm distillery laws. But federally, getting the approval is a pain. And so having Brad and the farm and having to be able to do it on the farm definitely helped us significantly.
Really? How?
So initially, when we were going into this, so John and I we went to high school together, and we had kind of lost touch, and then we kind of saw each other and rekindled our friendship, if you will.
And then he introduced you to Walt.
and then Walt came along, who's so Walt and I ended up
If you want.
Dan and I go way back. We actually went to summer camp together.
Summer camp or summer school?
Well, both. Really. I think our parents were just they told us it was camp, but really it was to like get better at math. No, it was called Little People Summer Camp. Remember?
Ah.
And we would
That's
go,
weird.
and we were in the same group. And I was remembering the kid named Joffrey who couldn't say raspberry right. You remember?
I don't. It's terrible.
Yeah, and I remember someone making fun of him. I think it was me and you, man. Like we were just like, just say it right, and he wouldn't. He'd always say raspberry. I remember
That's
doing
how
that
it's
in art
spelled.
suppress.
Yeah, he's just being phonetic. You guys.
I don't know.
You guys were just
I don't-
being
he
jerks.
was being way more than phonetic. He was way out there.
Raspberry.
Yeah, it's annoying, and he would just keep saying it. You know what? It was the color of a Crayola marker that he kept saying. Raspberry.
I do remember those. I do remember the raspberry colored markers. They had like a whole like dessert line.
Was it dark red?
It was. It was very dark red. So it was Little People Summer Camp. That's what it was called.
Yeah, it's at
Yeah,
Marist
sure was.
College.
Were there any little people there?
Yeah, me and Dan.
Dan and I.
Dan, you're right.
Come on.
That's correct.
You should know better.
Dan and I were at the summer camp.
They didn't have English courses there.
They didn't. That's one of the reasons we were there. We ended up going to high school together, too.
Right, and then we went our separate ways, and we met out for dinner, a nice intimate dinner at the former, what was it, the Tortoise and Hare?
Yeah.
On Main Street?
Yep.
I don't even remember that place.
I don't
Hatched a
either.
plan.
It came, and I wish it stuck around. It was a great idea. But yeah, then we were like, hey, let's do this. And we both kind of had too much to lose to do it for fun, because obviously it's not entirely okay to do. So we went out and got our license. And in order to do that, we had to find a place that was not in a residence.
Yeah, they're sticklers about
Yeah, that's
that,
really
it
the
turns out.
rub, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we also didn't have money. So
Yeah.
we're like, hey,
Oh, the
you.
money.
Well, I mean,
Lot
the
of
funny
factors
thing
involved.
is you can buy, like, I mean, I'm not saying do this, but you can go to milehighDistilling.com and buy a $400 still and make really great stuff. The problem is that it's not so much the ATF, it's the IRS that'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
And they'll fine you. They'll just go, so we're going to assume that you've been making 4 gallons of booze a day for the last 5 years. And they just come up with a number, and they go, you owe us $4 million.
Right.
And then you're fucked. And then you go to prison because you can't pay that $4 million. And that's what happens to
I mean,
moonshiners.
some of you
So,
can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be surprised. It actually is. It's the Treasury Department that
Yeah.
runs it. The TTB is through the Treasury Department, so it's not even like a law enforcement.
So
style.
technically, they're not even the fucking government.
Yeah.
It's almost like a weird company that they go, yeah, so we're going to charge you $1.59 for every dollar we make for you, and you're just going to do it. And then the government goes, sure.
They just want their cut. That's really all they care
that's
about.
really all it is.
Like, don't blow up an entire like area and give us money.
Pay
Yeah.
us.
A significant portion of what you make.
Things have been pretty cordial thus far.
They have been pretty good. I will say the government's been really great. If you're listening.
Yeah.
So the recipe for it, I'm not going to ask you, what the recipe is. I mean, you pretty much tell us what you.
Well, we
use
have
in it.
to. It's legally. We're legally bound to tell you what is
what's
in
in it, yeah.
our
Weights and
alcohol.
measures. I'm talking about. But
Sure.
whose recipe is it? Like, where did it start from? Because
It
I
was
know.
like an idea that I think Dan refined. Do you want to, Dan? Do you want to do like the full story, like head on of what our idea was for this, or
You can start. I'll
Okay.
I'll fit in.
So if you take just apple cider, it doesn't really, it's not that strong, so you can't get that much booze out of it. So you need to fortify it, right? And we were thinking of in fortifying it and adding sugar on the front end, you make the cider stronger, and you're able to extract more alcohol when you go to distill it. So we're thinking of ways to make it local and fall into that like terroir category, that idea of like you're drinking stuff from a place. And the natural way to do that is to add honey, because honey's local. Honey's from local plants and fruits and all that, and it sort of lends like the character of the area. And it's not like you're just adding sugar water. If you think of the way rum is made, it's sugar juice. Scotch is malted barley. It's basically beer that's been fermented and distilled. But this is local apples and local honey. We get it. We make it as strong as we can. We ferment it. We distill it. And the exact like percentages and the procedure was largely due to Dan's electrical expertise.
Really?
Right?
I may own a local plumbing and heating company, but we won't talk about that. It's fine, we can. But yeah, so I was able to, speaking of like the whole Mile High distilling thing, we kind of similarly started out that small where, we were coming up with just simply a liter at a time, and until we built a 75-gallon still, and I, instead of spending a lot of money to have someone design it, I was able to come up with just a way to regulate the electricity so that I can keep the temperature within a degree as we're going along.
Oh, that's where it's at.
So
yeah, because I've I've been there when Chad was making moonshine, and it's basically a turkey fryer that he uses.
Yeah,
and it seems like a nightmare.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to do that if I had another option.
Yeah. I mean, it started off, with
the turkey fryer method,
a couple of PIDs, which is just a regulator and some things, then a car radiator to cool the water down. Simple stuff with a box fan.
Yeah, because otherwise seriously, when you cool off that thing to do, I've seen Chad do this. I'll just preface it with that. Yeah, you're basically running a garden hose for 7 hours.
That's correct, and that cost becomes quite considerable after a while.
Wow.
I brewed professionally for years. Our heat exchanger was a giant piece of expensive equipment. Dan managed to mimic that for our needs with like minimal cost.
It was like $100.
Yeah, at like Davies Hardware.
Yeah, I've thought about a car radiator.
Well,
I think it would work. Just a
That's
couple
why we're
electric
indebted to
fans,
Dan.
and
That's it. You just need the best is going in there and being like, hey, just gonna get a big car radiator. Like, oh, what's the model? Like, just give me the
biggest one you have.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to swear? Or
Yeah.
is that,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay. So give me the fucking radiator for crying out loud.
Ford 350.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what's
it's
the biggest
just
one
the
you have? Well, tell me what size. I'm like, just give me a radiator.
Econo van.
A big one. That's pretty funny. Well, you poured me something, so I got to try it.
Yeah, you should.
We should do the thing real quick.
I can't see from behind the wall here. What color is it?
It's
It's the apple.
It's a honey kind of color. Hold on.
It's what are you drinking?
After all these years, I still love it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of sounders and bits.
Oh, fantastic.
That wall
It's
can't
like
hear.
hacky,
Sorry.
hacky.
No, I heard it. It was pretty loud.
Yeah,
As
because your
my
headphones
headphones.
are way too fucking loud.
So
Yeah, this is like a hacky '90s radio show.
so
That's
what
what
is
we're going for?
So what's this then? Then we're drinking here.
So that's just the apple sunshine, and what we did. So it comes out of the still at 180 proof, and we bring it down to about 120 for when we're doing kind of aging. So what we did here is we put some oak. This is early on for us, so this is kind of like our backwoods things here. So it's applewood.
Yeah, I love those days though.
Yeah, they were fun before we sold out. We still haven't sold out yet. I can't wait to sell
Sold
out. But so we just took apples and some oak and cherry wood and applewood, and we put it in and just let it soak. And the crazy thing was when we first did it, like the first month or year, it's terrible. It's really bad. And John and I tried all sorts of things. We did apples, we did pears, we did plums, which is not good. I mean, this is lemon thyme, which you guys can try, and it's absolutely amazing. It's probably the best that we have, believe it or not.
And and that's not how it started out.
Oh,
It's really bad at first.
When it
At-
comes
at
out of the
first, it's
still,
like
it's like
soap.
rubbing alcohol.
Oh
for-
no, but
yeah.
with the
But like
when-
months,
yeah,
like
but
a
when you
year.
put that stuff in it at first, it's even worse somehow.
Yeah.
But after it mellows, it gets great.
Yeah.
Could you
Yeah,
pass
there
me
was
some lemon
there was that
thyme to
one
the
batch
wall
that
here?
Chad did that like after a couple of months you're like, this got way worse. What happened? And that's what it really was. Like it has this. It comes out as moonshine, and then you add like an oak stave or something like
Right.
that. You got to let it sit for 6 months before it's really going to be something good.
Walt needs a
And
taste.
that's the whole trick. That's where American bourbon kind of fights with Scotch. The Scots are patient enough to age theirs 12 years. Of course, it's amazing. We can get bourbon. We can do 3 years, and then we just get too impatient. Thank you very much.
No problem. Yeah, the thing with the staves and the chips and all this kind of stuff, like we've talked about this many, many, many times on the show. I think it's completely ridiculous when you can get the exact same outcome in a year or two as opposed to 7 years in a barrel. Like, why can't you do that? Like,
No, you can do that.
You
can,
can.
you
You just
can't.
can't call it bourbon.
Well,
No, correct.
Yeah.
But
We're-
like if you produce a product and you're upfront about how you did it, and you can get better than bourbon, then it's fine.
Yeah,
you know,
you just
and
have
if
to call it
you
like
can
a
certainly
whiskey or
call it
whatever, yeah.
single malt, but you just
Yeah.
can't call it Scotch.
Yeah.
I believe actually, I don't know the legality of Scotch, but I love all that stuff.
No, that's exactly right. You can call it single malt. You can't call it Scotch unless it's from Scotland. But yeah,
Right.
It's made from a single malt. There you go.
We're finding that. So one of the things that like across the river, like Tuttletown does, is they will use smaller barrels, and I guess their rule of thumb is
they honeycomb them, and
so they'll do like 1 month per gallon. So if you do a smaller barrel, then you don't have to do 5 years.
Yeah.
So we're doing that now. We have a few that have a couple months in. We have 5 gallon ones that we're doing just to get stuff out for the fall. And after 2 months, it's already smoother than stuff that we've had since we've started.
So I like this, but the oakiness is where I'm hitting a wall. I'm not a big fan of like overly oaked.
Yep,
stuff.
this tastes like some real good moonshine that I've had in North Carolina.
Yeah,
that's pretty standard.
It's smooth
you take
as silk.
Some, like
It
apple,
really is.
applewood.
The apple takes the smooth. Yeah, definitely.
A lot of guys that I learned how to make moonshine in North Carolina, and it was just. I mean, they seriously fermented in like
an old oil drum.
Yeah, what did they ferment? Was it wheat? Was it
whatever they can get their hands on?
No, so they did corn and sugar.
Yeah, all right. That's crazy.
Just seriously, like they husked corn that they bought at the supermarket. You know, they cut it off the cob, boiled it for however long. They were not paying it. Like they didn't follow any rules like of brewing that I know of. And then just cane sugar, just white sugar. And they fermented it in seriously like a laundry detergent. Like bucket.
Wow.
And he bought the laundry detergent specifically for the bucket. And then he dumped the laundry detergent into a fountain, which was really funny. I've got pictures of it. And then fermented
where was
in
this
that.
in the South?
This is Mooresville, North Carolina.
Sounds right.
Race City, USA.
So instead of using the soap to wash,
he was just like, no, I'm buying this for the bucket because it was cheaper to buy this big bucket of laundry detergent than just to buy a 5
that's why there's
gallon
regulations,
bucket.
right?
Yeah,
Like, that's why.
So I was like,
so we can't have nice things.
I'm just thinking about like the fucking BPA that was in that bucket and all this shit, and then he built the still out of a pressure cooker, and that was how I learned how distillation works.
Dear God.
Yeah, and it was horrible. It was disgusting moonshine. So they would take and they'd buy like smoker chips, hit them with a propane torch.
Yep.
Throw it in the jar with a full apple or a pear or, something like that, and just let it sit for a month, and then it was ready. And then it was palatable. Not good. This is good. That was not good.
Did they cut it at all, or was this like straight up like?
No, they
180?
would. They would cut it, but it was
tap
just
water?
guesswork. I mean, they didn't have a hydrometer or
Right,
anything
right.
like that. So it was probably somewhere between 80 and 160 proof. Like, there's no way to know.
That's tough.
But being that it was a pot still because it was a pressure cooker, so it's just a coil.
Right.
You'd spray it with a spray bottle just to cool the coil off.
Yeah.
And so it was probably only coming out at 140, 130. And it was gross. Super gross. But that's where I learned, like, the basic science of it. And, And now that I'm friends with Chad.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty legit setup now.
Yeah. It's all coming up Millhouse.
Well, I say that all the time, man. I love that. That was one of those episodes that stuck with me.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Yeah. I can't, coming up Aces, that doesn't make any sense.
Coming up Millhouse. He reminds me of Paul, like from Josh Saviano from the Wonder Years, Millhouse. You ever notice they're like the same kind of character?
They're the same
Paul
person.
I think he's probably modeled after him a little bit. You never
Oh,
watched
the
Wonder
glass.
Years? Yeah.
I hated that fucking show. I hated it.
You hated that
I
show?
didn't-
Yeah,
I
I constantly wanted to punch that kid in the face. I'm like,
Paul
why?
or Fred?
Fred, why
Yeah.
are you so fucking dumb?
Yeah,
I'm like, I
that's
get it. You're in high school, but God, just ask for advice from anyone except your brain. I hated that kid so much. I couldn't watch the show because I hated him so much.
Yeah.
It's like,
But there was Winnie
how
Cooper,
can
though.
I didn't think she was that cute.
I wasn't a fan
totally not
either.
a-
There was just no redeeming qualities. I mean, the
sorry,
father
I'm on
was
the other
pretty,
side
pretty
of that.
funny.
The funny
Yeah.
thing is,
That guy was
she's
hysterical.
like exactly our age.
Yeah,
Yes. And she was on How I Met Your Mother a bunch of times too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh, wow.
That show just disappointed me at the end, and I had to watch it. It's
At
one of
the-
those.
At the end?
You're like, I have to get closure. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you're right.
I stopped watching
That's
it.
fair.
I stopped watching it. I
couldn't.
I threw in the towel like 3 seasons before the end, and then eventually I watched it when it was on Netflix or whatever. But
I could never get
it's
into
not
it.
a good show.
My wife and I would DVR it, and we would I would
some
look at her,
dedication,
and we'd
man.
be like, "Okay, let's do it." And we would like press the play button, and then we'd be like, "This is."
You
so
just want to see what happens.
We were like, "We have to see who the fuck Ted's gonna marry."
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, it's very.
I never.
I've met him.
I've never watched one
Yeah.
episode of that friggin' show.
But we drive by Wesleyan College all the time. We go to Rhode Island. We have to sing da 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 'cause every time, because that's where they went to school. Because we're idiots.
Yeah.
They all went to Wesleyan?
Yeah.
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 That's where they all met.
We cut through that way too to get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to do that song
Well,
next time you do it.
He, well, I don't work there anymore, but the Crafted Cup in Poughkeepsie. Here, you know how they have Powerhouse and all of that.
Wait, those dudes who work there went to Wesleyan too?
No. So Ryan
They
and
charged
I
me an extra $3 or something to fill up my Yeti.
$3.
Yeah, it was like a guy turns to his manager. He goes, "Yeah, I just charged him an extra $3." And I was like, "Thanks, thank you." It went from it.
Wait, who?
That's kind of a lot.
What do you mean? I don't know his name. I didn't ask. I was like, I left.
You got one of those big ass Yetis?
Yeah, the big one. But like,
But
I don't know.
even then, like
Just
a large
drip coffee?
What's that?
Just drip coffee? Now I know. Now I know who you are.
Yeah, I've seen him before. too.
I was like, why do
We've
I know
seen
this?
Walter.
Whoa,
Why
whoa,
do I
whoa.
know Walt?
Yeah.
No, you
And
don't.
I'm like,
I've
now
only
I know
I
who
go
you
there
are.
like once every 4 months.
Yeah, I know, but I
Do
still
you guys
know who
work-
you are.
Oh,
You're
man.
infamous.
Yeah, I'm the guy with the picture behind the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, $3 to fill it up is a lot.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, you should get a free coffee next
I
time.
don't want
you
the
go.
person's name or
I
what they
didn't-
look
I
like,
didn't
so I
ask.
can
Anyway,
How'd I
so
know?
I
the
can
guy-
kick them
the
in
guy-
the teeth repeatedly.
The guy who
I
plays
thought maybe
Ted.
it was just like really that coffee that the bats eat and crap back out. What's the one?
Go for
No.
Luwak.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not bats. It's a
Goats?
It's a serval.
Serval.
Yeah. It's a
Me-
small
member of the
primate.
Is
weasel
that like
family.
a gerbil?
Is it the member of the weasel?
It's
family?
not
I
a
don't think so.
primate, you fucking dipshit.
What is it?
It's a weasel.
Is it a weasel?
Yeah, it's the civet or a fucking yeah.
Yeah, I thought
They're-
they were
they're
like
civets.
Yeah, I thought that not primate. They like those
Marsupial.
marsupial? No, I don't.
I
think
don't
that's
know.
right.
On it's hold on.
Now we have to Google.
Mostly
Anyway, the guy who
nocturnal.
plays Ted comes into Crafted Cup when they do Powerhouse at Vassar.
Get
and
outta
he,
here.
Yeah, and he came in with Blah Blah, the girl who played Blah Blah, the one that he couldn't remember her name.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was a fun.
I might
day.
hit him if I ever saw him. I'm so upset. Like that was like
The
a lot.
years
That
you
was a
lost.
lot of years.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Here, this is a civet.
And he just always complained.
I used to lifeguard there back in the '90s during Powerhouse times, and Third Rock from the Sun was real popular.
Oh, I see. I watched that one once or twice.
It was hard to. I mean, not the easiest show to watch.
No.
But the giant lady would swim laps a lot.
The giant lady.
She was like 6'4", man. I mean,
I
like,
know.
She was in great shape. I can't remember her name. She was a good actress. I
The
certainly don't need to be
giant
into
lady.
it. But she was a large human, and she swam often.
Oh.
And you remember Mark Lindbaker from Perfect Strangers?
Which one was that?
Larry.
Oh.
Not Balky, Larry.
Not
Larry
Balky?
Bartakamos?
Yeah, Larry Bartok. Was it? No,
No,
Larry
his-
Appleton.
He,
Balky
cha-
Bartakamos.
he changed his name to Not Balky.
Cousin Larry.
Well, he was there for years.
Really?
Not very exciting either.
That's the funny thing. Like, we do get celebrities that pop in and out, but it's usually that guy from that thing.
Right. And what was that girl's name? Blah blah.
Yeah, he couldn't remember her name. Like the whole premise of the story is that he's telling all these stories from his youth, and he
Bob
couldn't
Saget.
remember that girl's name.
And we
so he
can't
called
remember her name either.
Yeah, so he called her Blah Blah. And here I'll Google.
So now
who-
the bottles do say proofs on them. That's the actual proof, or are they watered down and all
That
that?
is the
Are
actual
they?
proof.
Oh
Actual.
God! So that's what's in the jar. So that was 120 we just had.
Correct.
Okay, that's super smooth. Then
Yeah.
that's way smooth for 120 proof.
Yeah, you should be making that like weird face when you drink
Those are small
120
batches,
proof.
not
This
for sale.
smells-
That's just test stuff.
So that's 100 proof. That's thyme, lemon thyme.
Lemon, like not lemons and thyme, but lemon.
Lemon thyme.
Yeah, oh, I used to grow that. It's awesome stuff.
We
Great.
literally just went out to the garden and we're like, let's just throw this in there.
Great for chicken.
We have a rosemary one too. Did not taste good.
Did someone just say it tastes like chicken?
And I said it's great on chicken.
Oh, it is
That
great on chicken, yeah.
is awesome.
So that's this one.
Yeah,
I haven't
that's
tried that one
time
yet.
one.
That is awesome.
I'm gonna just rinse this with some seltzer.
So when was this made?
Like right when we started. So all these ones are like right.
Oh,
there,
so
you know, in a
yeah, so
couple
these are all
years.
like, the basement stuff.
Right.
Oh, awesome. You should. I don't know, man. I'm a little bit biased because I'm a big fan of more, herbal, medicinal tasting kind of things, and this is right up my alley.
Wow.
That's good to hear, man.
Yeah, this is great because it's also different too. Your moonshine, you automatically, at least in my brain, I think whiskey. So I accept some sort of whiskey kind of taste.
Mm-hmm.
But this is almost got a gin quality to it, but it's got the color of whiskey.
This, I think, this is fantastic, and I would definitely drink it straight. But
the color,
commercial applications, you're going to want to build a cocktail around it.
Yeah, I'm wondering what we would do with that.
Lavender gimlet.
Good idea, man. That's
Or not a lavender gimlet. You just make a gimlet with this.
Yeah, thyme gimlet.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so
I think that's a great idea.
You guys can keep that one.
Hold on. Yeah.
That one's yours.
Thank you.
That one, everyone gets one free one.
Yeah, it's super super simple. Just some lime, a little bit of simple syrup. Shake it up.
We could call it Dead Radio Gimlet.
That'd be good. I'll write that down.
Yeah, you do the egg in it, the egg white. You guys do egg white in your gimlet?
Is there? No.
Not normally, but you can.
Yeah, you can. It's just no longer a gimlet.
Gimlet is just gin and
Gimlet
lime,
is gin and lime and sugar.
Yeah.
It's
There's no
No.
white in it at all in the original recipe?
no.
I
I mean, I
can't-
think
I
you
don't know.
could add it to it, but I don't think it's a gimlet anymore.
Oh, all right. Well, in either
Yeah.
case, I had one.
A gimlet is 1 part gin, 1 part lime, half part simple.
Yeah. Very simple.
We do a mint one at Tomato, which is fucking awesome.
The egg white thing, I had it actually at Tuttletown. Tuttletown?
Tut Hill Town?
Tut Hill Town?
Tut Hill Town.
Tut Hilltown.
It's Tuttletown.
Okay.
But it's
Tut
Hill
Hilltown.
Town.
Yeah. Tut's Hilltown. They had a lavender gin gimlet for like an Easter brunch or anything or something like that, and the guy was just like, "No, it can be served with or without an egg white." And everybody at the table went, "Ah!" And I went, "I'll have that." So they send it over, and it creates this kind of it richens it up, basically. It thickens everything up.
Sure.
But it's great. It adds this weird kind of just mouthfeel to it that changes it totally.
The thing, I wouldn't do egg white at a bar because I work at a bar,
Uh-huh.
and I know everyone touches everything, and I know their eggs come from the cheapest fucking place that will sell them eggs.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
If I brought my own egg from my own chicken to the bar,
You have a
and
chicken?
said- I have six
Whoa.
chickens now.
That's like a
How
new
many
level
chickens
of
do you have,
hipsterdom.
Brad?
I don't have any chickens. They disappear too quick.
I'm gonna write that down.
With those things.
So I know my chickens don't have salmonella. I know that.
Mhm.
So I would do it. I would do it with like an egg that I knew where it was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
brunch is safe,
Do
but
you
like
think-
regular bar, no way.
Yeah, I just
Do you think the alcohol would kill whatever was in there? Would that?
no, it's
Not
not
enough.
enough.
Yeah.
It's definitely not enough. You need to be at least 100 proof to kill bacteria.
It's not true.
Well, you could use the sunshine. Though.
Yeah,
No.
that's not true.
No.
All right. Knife fight.
Why is that not
that's
true?
right.
So you
Let's
can
do it.
take. The only reason why I know this is because my brother-in-law works for DEP and he deals with water. And when we go hiking, what I'd use is Jack Daniels to sterilize my water, and that's all you have to do. It's
Oh,
70
yeah,
proof.
so-
You
yeah.
can just throw that a little bit of Jack Daniels in your water, and you're fine.
Really?
I didn't know that one.
Makes your water taste good.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Gets to the
I'm-
point where you're adding more Jack Daniels than water.
Well, that's as the day goes on. That's exactly what happens. Yeah, I don't think it has to be. 100
It's
proof.
not sterile enough.
100 proof is where you like become more flammable, but I don't think it's where it kills
Yeah,
bacteria.
I thought that was for surface bacteria. I mean, I would imagine if it was only by the time you mix it all and it's 30 proof, if you let it sit for half an hour, maybe that's the case. But I can't tell you where I read this or heard this, but it was that to use alcohol to cleanse a surface, it needs to be 100 proof.
Okay.
So maybe
That
that's
sounds
why.
legit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you looking it up?
Well, according to Yahoo Answers,
Right.
which is alcohol does kill infections, but why waste Jack Daniels on an infection? I looked up, does it kill bacteria? And
well, it absolutely does. We're arguing the concentration.
What level?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
all right, well,
Not even
whatever.
arguing, discussing.
I'd
Just go
prefer
outside
an
and just take
argument.
care of this right now. Yeah.
So
We're not drunk enough for that. Yes.
So yeah, I really this is the
Yeah,
time
this is
was
great.
Awesome.
I would do a lot with this, and it would definitely like a gimlet is perfect.
Yeah.
Lime juice, a little bit of sweetener.
If I see
yeah.
anyone in the entire world come up with a lime liquor, I'm going to be furious.
Yeah.
No, just saying. Like, I'm sure there's like lots of people out there watching this right now or listening, where it's alcohol.
Bud Light Lime.
Yeah.
They better not steal this.
I've sold this.
Well,
story.
this is time. Are you talking about lime or time?
Time.
Oh,
Okay.
time. No,
I think
they
you said
said
lime.
You got to be able to get your.
Sorry,
I could be wrong.
Twice.
You have to try and get your entire audience.
probably
You know,
right.
like Bud
This-
Light Lime, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
you have
is,
to have like a malt liquor lime thing in your repertoire, just so you're not excluding everybody. Like my brother would be like, "Sweet moonshine," but if he saw like, margarita moonshine Rita, carbonated in a can, he'd be like, "Fuck yeah," and run straight to it.
Well, I think, like, not to give too much away, but, like, my thought for having Distillery is if you did, like, an exclusive line, like, in this bottle size of different things, like thyme, basil, like, different. So you could, like, as a bartender, go, I'm going to buy that for $25 and try and come up with a couple of interesting drinks based on those flavors. Because to the average patron at a bar, they're not going to be like, yeah, I'll have that on the rocks. They want to see something like a thyme gimlet.
Sure.
Something. And to be honest, like, I pitched that mint gimlet thing at the bar, and everybody was like, nobody's going to buy that. And I've made more of those than everything else.
No shit.
Yeah.
Good for you.
And especially because when people go, like, I actually had someone go, what kind of mint is it? I was like, the kind that I grew in my garden and brought here today.
We
Like,
actually.
So what's the best way to reach bartenders? Because I think you're dead on.
Just go into bars. Go into bars and seriously say, here's a bottle, make some cool shit, and I'll come back in a few days and we'll talk.
Make sure you wear a nice suit and you bring a briefcase. You got to look professional.
No, you don't have to do that.
No?
No.
Okay.
No,
and
I don't have I've already chatted with our head bartender about you guys, and if you're interested, come in, drop off some samples, and we'll talk.
Are you keeping tallies of how many gimlets you sell? You should. You should.
In a shift, I would say I've sold out of the new menu. So we had stuff that stayed and stuff that changed out. Out of the new menu, I would say it's 50% of the new stuff has been the mint gimlet. Yeah. But, I mean, to be honest, like, we're not a bar. We're a restaurant.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It feels good, though, right?
Yeah, it's nice. It's and I really wish that I had some left to bring tonight, but I did a jalapeno ginger margarita, which is just a Moscow Mule with jalapeno infused tequila. Yeah. Did Cabo Wabo with some jalapeno.
Are you
Just
a
infused
Van
it for
Halen
like
fan?
24 hours. What's that?
Van Halen fan?
That's right.
I am not.
Red Rocker. Sammy Hagar. That's his tequila.
Yeah. So
That was middle
Cabo
school for me.
Wabo is like our standard mixed drink
Yeah.
tequila. I mean, if you just go, I want a shot of tequila, you're going to get Cuervo. But our mixed drinks are usually like our standards Cabo Wabo. So I infused that with jalapeno and then basically just took a Moscow Mule recipe, which more good ginger syrup, a little bit of soda, some lime, and I don't like tequila, and it's really good.
If I owned the Tomato Cafe, I would make you sing Can't Drive 55 every
and
time
then I
you made
wouldn't-
something with
and I
Cabo
wouldn't-
Wabo.
I wouldn't work for
But
you
it's-
if you were going to
but
do
you get
something like
tips just like at Cold Stone.
that. No.
Whatever.
No, I wouldn't do any of those things.
It's no fun. He's just sticking the mud.
Sammy Hagar is hard to like.
Yeah.
But they had an album. They had an album called Cabo Wabo. It's the guy, like, his lasting cultural contribution is him telling us he cannot drive 55.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the pedal to the metal. I'm pretty sure that's what he said in that song.
I
I'm
think
not
that's
really
what he
sure.
said.
I haven't heard it in a long time. So, do you guys use where are we at here? Okay, we got time. Do you guys use specific apples, or is it just mishmash?
You're gonna let our farmer answer that.
Brad?
To start so far, it's kind of been a mishmash because part of the problem with organic apples is that they're very biennial. So we're getting them every other year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, we've been working with what we have available. It takes about 2,400 pounds to make 275 gallons of juice.
Okay.
So it's quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a friggin' ton.
And we don't have, our organic side isn't huge. There's probably 4 or 5 acres.
What kind of apples then?
We run a bunch of different varieties. Some of them aren't very well known. We do we kind of start out with Max. There's a Crimson Crisp. We do some Red Delicious and Max. So Fuji's, a Gold Rush, a Liberty. Those are kind of most of them. A Red Free, I think I missed as an early.
Jesus, there's a bunch in there that I don't know.
Yeah, those are all organic. Well, most of them are on the organic side, so they don't get as many diseases or fungus issues as the other ones.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Apple scab is the one they kind of mostly miss, what makes it a lot easier to grow them.
Apple scab?
Yeah.
That's the name of an apple?
No, it comes. It's a fungus that grows on the leaves.
Oh, okay.
Apples,
I was just like, why did they
if you don't
name an
control
apple scab? I don't want to eat that.
No.
Terrible sales.
Well, it's like they named Red Delicious because
Yeah,
it's not fucking delicious.
That's the saddest
It's
apple.
just branding. But I mean,
hate
when it comes down to distilling, it really doesn't fucking matter as long as there's sugar in it.
Right.
So if you're coming off at 180 proof, especially if you guys got to the point where you're like triple distilling, like it really doesn't.
Well,
really
we're using a
matter at all.
reflux, so
Yeah.
it's pretty. It might as well be that.
Yeah.
So we're coming out pretty well clean.
We want it flavorful.
Oh yeah, you
Right.
don't
So
want
we
to
don't-
lose everything.
So
yeah,
Otherwise, it'd be a vodka, which we don't.
Mhm.
We want
Right.
it to be. We wanted the flavor. We wanted, the whole idea behind it is the apple sunshine. That whole name behind it. Like Jägermeister. Like, what's Jägermeister?
We
It's
want there to be a
Jägermeister.
terroir associated with it, so we don't want. The last thing we want to do is strip out all that flavor.
the second time you use that word. I don't know what
Terroir?
that word means.
Yeah,
What's that?
dirt flavor in French.
Ah, okay.
Well, do you guys want to try some of Chad's gin before we go on a break?
Yes, please.
I guess does the type of apple gonna really change the flavor? Is the type of apple really gonna change the flavor?
Some varieties probably have more sugar in them.
That's-
really,
about the
really,
only
it
difference.
really,
That's what
really,
I'm-
really does for cider.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, I know
Yeah.
that, but you're also using the juice, and this you're boiling out the alcohol.
Your question's the big gamble there, right? The French would say absolutely, but the Americans would say not at all. It's just as good. Our apples are just as good as theirs.
Right.
So we're gonna say not at all. Our apples are just as good as theirs. Brad's apples are the best, and
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you use what you have. We can't.
No. I'm
Different
not trying to talk shit or
No,
or
no, I'm not-
say any which way. But I'm like, my curiosity is that if you use just Empires versus just Fuji's, for instance, I know the sugar content is definitely going to have a huge factor. That's the biggest thing. However, I'm just wondering the actual apple lending to the taste of the apple sunshine.
I think it'd definitely be a variable, right? You would notice, but like it would be like one would be good and the other would also be good.
But
It's unexpected
Yeah.
when you distill because the flavors that you're getting are like essential oils coming through. It's not. So there are going to be differences between the
Right.
two different types of apples.
The other big
But-
thing for us is going to be the honey, and that's where you're getting a lot of your taste. And actually, we've kind of changed our recipe up, which we're going to kind of change a little bit here. Is we're going to be adding more honey, which is I brought it. It's this guy here. You were talking about having like a different different kind of selling them in small batches. We're actually using some of Brad's whatever's left over from selling. They do farmers markets. They're going to be using whatever we've had a good season on. So like whether it's peaches or
cherries or apricots or.
So we're just gonna we did this with peaches last year, and I mean it's delicious. And I went really heavy on the honey. And you're gonna taste when you taste this. This is 180 proof, so just be careful with that.
Yeah,
one.
so don't glug glug.
Before we taste that, I want to say Chad's gin is excellent there.
Oh,
I'll let him know.
Can you? What does anyone know what Chad put in his gin basket?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is it's triple distilled gin, and
really
it's
good.
all made from it's a sugar wash. So it's raw sugar with corn sugar to kind of give it a little bit of a bourbony flavor. And then it's triple distilled, charcoal filtered with juniper, lime, and chamomile.
That's it?
Real nice. Real nice.
Nice
Yeah.
and easy. Simple as good.
Yeah. Chad and I think
Just
that
a
this is definitely
Just
a
a
product
splash.
that you could sell in a store.
Stop.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not a gin guy, and this is delicious.
Gin is my thing. That's my fucking jam. I have 2 jams. What? No, 3.
I have 3 jams.
I can have 4.
It's she-males, Dungeons and Dragons, gin, and Glutenberg.
Gutenberg? Like Steve?
No, Glutenberg. It's a gluten-free beer. Ryan has the celiacs.
It's from Canada, so it's very apologetic going down.
Well, that's the great thing about this. This is all gluten free because it's coming from apples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got an honest question for everyone. Is there actually gluten in like bourbon
No.
and whiskey?
No.
No.
Gluten is a protein and cannot come out
It can't
through the
survive
distillation
distill.
process.
Yeah.
It is heavier than the vapor that comes out in the distillation process.
Right.
You can distill fucking beer, down to whiskey, and it is gluten-free.
I've just heard from celiacs that they can, when they do drink alcohol that is maybe not a gluten-free one, like from a corn or mash, that they can feel even it's a little bit.
If you have a gluten allergy,
Right,
allergens can absolutely be distilled. But if you have celiac disease, that is an autoimmune disorder. It's not an allergy.
Which is what I have.
Yeah.
I feel like we made some progress there.
It does not affect you. But if you have a wheat allergy, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I learned
you
something today.
cannot have whiskey.
Yep.
But
Very
if you have a wheat allergy but not a barley allergy, you can absolutely have most bourbons.
I don't really give a shit. I just drink it because it's
Yeah.
alcohol and I like the taste. Much like
It's sterile and I like the
it's
taste.
sterile and I like the taste. Patches O'Houlihan. Much like Patches O'Houlihan's piss.
You
Yes.
dodge a
Patches
wrench.
O'Houlihan? Who's that?
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Oh, okay.
And there's the realization.
I had never seen the whole movie the whole way through.
What?
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
always wanted to see it, but then I missed it.
It's on all the time.
Yeah, I swear.
That and Shawshank.
Just put TBS on. You'll be fine. This is the what is this? Is the gin?
That was Chad's.
Excellent. Excellent.
It is
Excellent.
very
You've
Let
had this
Chad know.
before on the show. This is like the last of that really like.
This is better than that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. That one's triple distilled.
Yeah, this one's way
Yeah.
smoother and it's got like a more even flavor. That one's got like a big punch and a little
basically
more
with that one, that's a London Dry. So you make a vodka, then you distill it again, and it really doesn't matter what you make it out of. That's made out of sugar. So let's say you guys wanted to copy this recipe, you just couldn't because there are no sugarcane fields in New York.
Right.
So you'd have to find some sort of a substitute. But
honey.
Yeah, honey's the closest.
honey would be the way to go.
We tried
Yeah.
maple syrup at first, but it's super expensive.
And it does not ferment well.
Really?
I mean, it'll ferment, but you have a ton of off flavors.
We only did one run with that. and
Yeah, like I've made
it's
maple
fine.
syrup, and like I come from a home brewing background, like beer. And if you just look at the base of a beer recipe, they go, you have to boil it for X amount of however long at X temperature, and that's to create these. You guys ever made rock candy, like as a kid? the whole idea is
This
you
lame motherfucker is the only one I know who's ever.
Has he
made
brought that
rock
up
candy.
multiple
Yes.
times? Yeah, I feel like that's like his
how lame
total.
am I for
He's
being
going.
in Boy
All right,
Scouts?
so I got to
doing
admit,
science
I
experiments?
too made rock candy
Yeah.
as a child. I'm very sorry. I remember dipping the string in there, and it took forever for the crystals to form. And it was like
it's
super
a science
disappointing.
experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was like
I made it
the-
too, but in
yeah.
science class.
Yeah.
The whole point was you
like
you boil it, you
sorry.
create long chains within the molecular structure of sugar, and if you boil it for too long, you get sugar that's inedible by yeast, and that's why maple syrup is not.
HCONGN2MENDXRKKBO6COBBL5F3GFURSBF.
Yeah, that's what.
This is the science.
all I
this
hear.
is the science of alcohol, Ryan.
I don't fucking
It's the
care.
science of alcohol.
You know what'll really
So
clear
Does it
everything?
get it faster to my face?
Is mash?
No, it gets it
mash
slower.
temperature
You need to
regulation.
know these things. Yeah, mash temperature.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing. So you make maple syrup to make syrup. So if you get real maple syrup, like the real shit that somebody fucking made
Right. That's
in their backyard, it's boiled down, it's not fermentable. It's not fermentable at all. So the maple syrup that is fermentable is actually
sugar.
the more factory created stuff
The
where they
corn
use
syrup.
well, not even corn syrup. They use evaporation. So you lower you lower the pressure in a vessel, you can boil at a lower temperature. So most commercial maple syrup producers, they put everything into a big vessel and then they pull a vacuum on it and then they heat it up to like 80 degrees. And it'll boil at 80 degrees because they're pulling a vacuum on it. And
It's
then
like
you
taking
can
a trip to
ferment
Pluto.
that. But if you take like real maple syrup, like the shit that me and my dad have made, you can't ferment that. You can't ferment it at all because you boiled it for 2 fucking days.
Forever.
But like real maple syrup, the way the Native Americans did it, all that, it's not fermentable at all. So
How dare you? Not you, him.
It was on site.
No, it's okay. It's actually good.
Yeah, let's
it's about to
take
take
a
a break. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anything queued up, so it's
course you
fine.
don't.
We guys still talk about it. So it's
My iTunes is open. Let's see what I got.
it's QueenCityFarmDistillery.com, at Queen City Farm Distillery on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, check them out. You guys are going to be at First Friday. That's this Friday. Yeah?
Yep.
You going to be there?
Yep.
It's Mansion Street Park.
Mansion Street Park, correct.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. In the nice section of Poughkeepsie. There's going to be an open mic thing.
It's up and coming.
It's like I'm really excited about that because there's one guy I'm waiting for, and he's one of our regulars at the open mic at the coffee shop. His name is Papa, and he's completely out of his fucking mind.
I'm gonna look out for that.
So
Papa.
and I'm
Pure
I
entertainment.
really want to go, and I really hope he signed up because if I know Papa, he signed up, and it's a treat, quite a treat to watch him perform. So yeah, so this Friday is the farmers market, First Friday at Mansion Street Park in Poughkeepsie. Come check out Queen City Farm Distillery. You guys are going to be doing tasting and selling the gift bag again?
Correct.
It's a good deal. Just come down, taste some booze.
Yeah, get
So
some free
I
booze.
think the tasting I got, and I believe it was from Walt, was here's the cocktail. Wow, that's really nice. Here's it straight. Wow, that's really nice. I turned to my wife, and she's handing $30 over to him. I was like, okay, cool. I guess we're getting it. But yeah, it was excellent, guys. So
I remember that interaction, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what. So we're gonna take a quick break, regroup, and then come back and taste some. You got a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
gotta
we
get
can
through,
keep going.
too.
Yeah, we got to power through at this point. Like we really got to just try everything.
Yeah. I also want to mix it all together and try something.
It's a pee break for everybody.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Goodbye.
Don't cry, I don't wanna let this show on. let go. Fall down, I will not rise. Still hurts, still burns inside, but it seems I could never, never just let go. Don't cry, I don't wanna let this go. Don't cry, I don't wanna let this show. Get the fuck up! Come down my way, sun shone my way. Hey! Come down my way, sun shone my way. Don't you know where you're going to? Don't you know, can't you see it through? Won't you see? Won't you see? Hey! Lost my baby today, don't even carry my eyes. Lost my baby today, don't even carry my eyes. I don't mind. 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 Lost my baby today, she don't love me no more. Lost my baby today, watched her walking out the back door. Seen it once before, I've seen it once again. When you try to love someone who doesn't love you, it seems it'll never end. Come around before, you have too many times. And I know it's not the first time, and I know it'll never end. carry my eyes. Lost my baby today. Don't even carry my eyes. Never mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind.
It's a little dream of mine. Have you ever had a dream, Mr. Poole? I have.
If I fall, would you catch me at all? When I cry, would my tears be dried? If I lose your grace, would you still hold my face? No, you just replace it. I don't know if the feeling is mutual. So throw in our pride, and you'll see I have nothing to hide.
This is Magus Peter H. Gilmore, High Priest of the Church of Satan. Listen to Dead Radio Podcast, or you won't make it into hell. Hail, Satan!
Played the Church of Satan bumper for Peter Gilmore, the High Priest of the Church of Satan, who calls Poughkeepsie home.
Oh, man. Is that the theme in the dogs, too?
What?
The dogs. Were they named after clergy in that church?
The what?
The dogs.
What about the dogs?
Their names. Was it one like Anton LaVey or something?
Yeah, Anton LaVey.
Right.
Yeah.
So you named your dog after like a priest of the Dark Lord?
No, the my dog's name is Alistair.
Oh, yeah, it was like Crowley. Sorry, I got my...
Nope.
Okay.
Alistair Mad Eye Moody from Harry Potter.
Perfect.
Because he's blind.
no.
The dog's blind in one eye, so Alistair. I mean, that was a nice try.
Yeah, I thought.
Good for you
maybe
for
my
making
computer's
all those
not
connections.
My computer's
All the
not
wrong
making any
connections.
noises.
No, but he's a Godzilla the new Godzilla movie just premiered, and Peter is a giant Godzilla fan. Even like the shitty Japanese movies that they made, the 300 of them. But I'm hearing good things about the new Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
like it's
I'll
just
check
like
it out.
if you like Godzilla movies that feature a shitload of monster action and no human drama, then you'll like this movie. I'm like, oh, so it's a real Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Fun. So I'm excited for it. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. It's got the young lass from Stranger Things in it, so whatever.
That guy's in a band called Calvernia, Cal something.
love that.
And they're
Who?
like
What guy?
they're like critical darlings. The kid from Stranger Things, like the star kid, the one who's best friends with what's her name, 12 or 11.
11.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the kid with the weird face.
Yeah, he's like Josh Saviano 2.0. He's in a band, and they're famous now, and everyone loves them.
Really?
Is
Really?
he like 14?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I had to take like a year off of high school.
I heard he was a real prick
I
on
don't doubt
on
that.
season 2.
Speaking
Like,
of
the-
pricks,
the
my computer's not making noises.
Oh, poor buddy. Poor little fella.
What noise were you gonna make?
I had like 3 drops. Yeah,
But-
still nothing.
Yeah. So apparently
Okay, so you're fine with it. Okay.
the writers or the producers or directors had to like rein him in because he was being a little bit too much for the role that was
This
needed.
kid's like 14 years old.
Yeah. I'm like, how are you overacting at 14? That's a little ridiculous. I mean, wait. He's probably overacting, but like overacting. That's what he's doing. I don't know.
He's
I'm not
kind
an
of a
actor. I have no
douchebag.
idea what's going on.
When you think back to like your 18-year-old self, do you think it'd be good for that person to have that amount of success?
No.
Hey, Walt,
No.
do you remember the kid that was a freshman when we were seniors at Lord's who was the child actor for Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my wife
Jurassic Joe.
Joe?
Is it Joe?
Jurassic Joe.
I think
Yeah.
it's Joe.
Maybe.
I may or may not
He
have
was in
bullied
the
him.
Pacific on
Yeah.
HBO, and he's in the Queen movie.
Was he? Well, he got me.
And my wife danced with him at
What?
the dance studio there. in
He
Hyde
won.
Park.
I might have been like, hey, cool kid, and like, throw books on the ground. As a senior.
You were a bully.
I was.
He was not a bully.
Thanks, Walt.
Yeah. Well, do you want to be a bully? It's like
I
the
did
worst
not.
thing.
Like, I know you're right. Like, I feel terrible about it.
See, my friend Tony was a bully, and he walked up to that kid at Starbucks or whatever and started on the table to watch all the drinks ripple. It just like stood there and stared at him and just hit the fucking bounded his fist on the table and then left. Because Tony's a fucking psycho.
It's kind of an asshole.
Oh yeah, he was a bit of an asshole. Kind of still is, but he's nice. He's a good kid.
He's got a good heart. He's a good kid. He's a good 36-year-old kid.
7. But is this what I didn't get? Is this
Yeah,
the-
you haven't tried that yet.
So
that's,
for all of you just joining us, nope.
2. 2
Uh,
watching now.
Yes.
Queen City Farm Distillery, QueenCityFarmDistillery.com. And what is this?
So that was a heavy pour, just to let you know.
Yeah.
That's 180 proof.
Okay.
No, you got to do it. You poured it. You got to do it.
All
No,
right,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Do it.
Adam will do it.
Yeah.
So this is
Mine's almost gone.
That's fine.
Brad had some leftover
We had
peaches.
some peaches, yep. A mix of yellow peach and a white peach, basically. So a little different acidity in those, but that's about it.
And we hand crush them because of the pits. You can't send them through a juicer, so we just individually our backs and hands hurt over time. But
I
we
can
did.
smell the Dawn dish soap. Remnants from your hands. No. This actually.
There's a lot of honey in this, so we went. This is kind of where I want to move the direction of our. Which I don't know if we're. It's weird because it's early on, so how do you change a little bit of your recipe over time? But I kind of like.
It smells like almonds to me.
You might.
I know that's
It's
kinda
arsenic.
nuts.
No, I mean that
down the hatch.
We took the pits out.
No, I think it's fantastic. It's almost like it's like peach flavored grappa.
That's got some
That's
zip.
exactly right. And you know what? It is peach grappa. Like grappa's brandy. This is peach. It makes sense as that.
I'm a big fan of grappa too. This is actually. Hold on. I just want to cut this a little bit.
Yeah, could I get an ice cube?
That's exactly what I did.
I enjoyed the first shot without.
That's how I've been drinking. Well, that's how I was drinking whiskey for a little while. I kind of just stopped. It was just like a tablespoon of water in it. That's all, just to kind of knock back that alcohol bite, and so you get the real strong. You get a good flavor out of it instead. But all right, so that had yeah.
That's real moonshine.
This is with a
cut and ready.
Ooh, yeah, just watered down a little bit. God damn.
Oh, you put a little water in there?
Yeah, yeah.
You water it down a little bit. It's still like 160.
Yeah, I know, but the
changes the whole thing.
The flavor
Yeah,
just jumped. That peach just jumps right out right out at you. Oof, it's gonna get harder.
When you first start
As we
watering
go.
down like straight moonshine, the math is like backwards, almost in your head. So you go, okay, so if this is 180 proof, if I add 50% water, it should be 90. That's not correct. It's about 120 at that point. So yeah, you got to use the alchemeter. Yeah, it's a hydrometer, but they call it an alchemeter when they're talking about spirits. It's a thing. It's like a flask, glass dealie with some weight in the bottom and
Very
we
technical.
just use the little like thermometer looking guy, and it drops into the parrot.
Yeah.
This is really good. No.
So we only made like
Not
a gallon or two.
Yeah.
Is this a new batch? This is part of the old batch, or
This is its own thing. So this was just leftovers.
Small
Like a
batch, we'll
one-off.
say.
This is just kind of this was an experiment to see what peaches would do.
What I would do with this is I would do a champagne cocktail.
Oh yeah, like a
Good idea.
Bellini.
Key Royale.
Man, start writing this all down.
Luckily, it's recorded.
Oh, that's
or
right.
not.
Yeah, I mean, who the fuck knows? A meteorite could hit the Earth right now, and we'll never be able to do this. But I would take this and do, I don't know, probably at full strength, do half ounce and then Prosecco on top of it and a twist. That's it.
I think you should give it to everybody at full strength and not tell anyone.
Yeah.
See what their reaction is.
I don't know if you're allowed to sell that in New York City.
You can. I don't know if you can at a bar.
I know I'm able to buy 190.
Yeah, you can get like
proof stuff.
Everclear and shit like that.
You can get Everclear. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I get 196 proof stuff, and then I use that for infusions and shit. Just like it's just junk. So I'm gonna be filling it up with sour cherries. It doesn't really matter. So,
but I would say like at a bar, like what I would do with this would be that just a little splash, bottle of champagne, flute in the bottom of a champagne flute, and then top it off with a twist of maybe orange or something like that.
I think that'd be deadly at New Year's.
Yeah.
Be a lot of New Year's babies.
Oh boy. So I guess the ultimate goal is to go into like major production and all that stuff and start a new line. How far out do you think you are to adding another bottle? I guess.
So currently, have some property on Cannon Street, and I'm sure you guys know what's going on Cannon. It's pretty exciting stuff. So we are currently, our building is being designed, and we will be opening something new, hopefully by the end of the year.
Oh, snap.
So
They
if
love
everything
that
goes
area,
well.
man. Poughkeepsie's, with Rollison and the collective from Poughkeepsie, they're really doing their damnedest to get.
When I mentioned it to them, I talked to one of the city planners, and she was so excited when I was telling her about it. She's like, "Look, it's not in the code book. Like, we'll figure it out." She's like, "Just get something to me, and we'll make it work." And really, at the end of the day, you're going to have Shotzi's. On Lower Main, they're opening up their brewery. Then you're going to have King's Court.
Ooh, I didn't know
You
that.
know about that?
Nope.
Yeah.
That's
So
new to me.
so that Queen City Lofts, they're doing a brewery right there.
Wow.
And now you have King's Court, and then I think Baxter's doing another one on Academy and Cannon. Where Let's Dance used to be. Not to date myself, but
yeah. No, I know where you're talking.
Let's
yeah.
Dance?
I don't know what it's called now, but you know where Bronx Pie is?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Mad Hatter.
No,
right?
Mad Hatter was on Market. So Academy is like one up.
The next one.
Yeah, no. I'm thinking of, what the fuck? Yeah, all right. I know what you're talking about.
It's like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's the one that's like a.
Wasn't I'm thinking
No.
of it was Let's Dance. I'm thinking of Club Soda. That's down by
Scotty
Wappingers.
yeah, I know. That's down by Splashdown. Yeah, never mind.
No,
I-
it's not.
That used to be the Brass Rail
Yeah.
too.
Wait, what did you just say?
Club Soda.
Club Soda.
It was like
isn't
a
that where?
underage
Isn't that
thing.
where
So
Cousins is now?
No,
it's
that
further
was
down, no.
Deviate.
It was across from
Deviate,
the Estelle
you're
and
right,
Alfonso
yeah.
Dance Studio.
Estelle and Alfonso. That was the
All
one.
right, we're going down a super local
going
rabbit
Club
hole.
Soda.
going down
I used
to
to
the
drop
early
my
90s.
brother off there, and my father and I, like, as we were fucking morons, thinking that he was going there to like really just hang out with people. He was going there to sell drugs.
Yeah.
Because he's an entrepreneur. That kid. That was a long time ago. It's fine. Everything's fine now.
It's all fine. It's fine.
Yeah, he's in recovery.
But where were we?
Oh yeah, so
Let's
Let's Dance. So I guess Baxter's putting in a kind of like a beer garden style where they're gonna do like an open concept. There's a lot of things going on, but they're gonna do like a brewery / like food court idea, and then we'll be a block above that. So really within half of a mile, you're gonna have 3 breweries, a distillery, and 2 bars. So.
I think the goal is to keep people
That is boosted board distance from right where we're sitting. So I'm excited.
Heck yeah.
I think the goal is to just keep people loaded all the time, so they don't realize
Yeah.
that they're extendedly staying in Poughkeepsie, right?
Hey, no. I'm not going to go on that one. Poughkeepsie's a great place.
I've lived
It's
here all my
getting so
life. I
great.
love it.
I'm very excited. And to be honest, I was worried about the Cannon Street location for King's Court.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we first met them, I was like, Cannon Street, what are you thinking? And then I go in there and it's nice and there's people there, and now there's a wine
There's
bar.
the wine
like,
bar. That's right. I forgot
next
about
door.
the wine bar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I really did not think that it could just like that become someplace that people would go to. And First Friday stuff has really helped. Like First Friday over the winter has become like this bar crawl kind of deal, and that's really helped them a lot. And they seem very busy, and it's a great location.
Cortland's done. He's been really great. He's like sat down with us. I mean, as someone who's in a similar business down the street, and it's gone that way. Also, like Jeremy, the owner of Shotzi's, it's something like really neat to be a part of, that everyone wants everyone to succeed instead of being like your competition. They're like, no, I want another place here because we want people to just come and stay in Poughkeepsie. We want you to, whether it's a destination from the city or you're from like the outskirts, you're going to come into the city of Poughkeepsie and you're going to stay here all night. Mm-hmm. So it's great that that has occurred, and there's just good people like along that whole line.
Yeah, and we've experienced that. We've had most of those people on the show. I know Jeremy through Tanner from Crafted, and I mean, and Cortland has mentioned you guys to me in my chats about Chad's moonshine.
Well, there's also other people outside looking in. I know my wife's cousin's wife is
your wife's cousin's wife.
Yeah.
That's like a very Poughkeepsie thing to
Sweet.
say.
Yeah. His cousin's wife. Yeah, sure. So, like she's from the city, so and she would come up here to visit, her, the family and everything like that, and she fell in love with the city. They live here now, and all she talks about is just investing in properties, investing in businesses, wanting to open up her own place.
Absolutely.
Here, and Cannon's is the big spot on her radar too.
Yeah, and 15 fucking years ago, it was like, oh yeah, that's where you find the horse. Yeah, that was not a good fucking place.
Well, just to be clear, 15 years ago is I just bought a building on Cannon, and it was last year that there were still the whores. They were
You're
like,
just like, go on, get
get
out of here.
Yeah, so I did. That's not even like a joke.
Gentrification.
Yes,
go, get.
So I put cameras in, and like I saw like the two dudes were like, there was a guy and a girl like shooting up behind my building, and I'm like, all right. So like I walk over, they scatter. I'm like, no, like guys, like look, I'm progressive, it's cool. I'm like, finish what you're doing, but you can't come back. I was trying to be like
very
the cool
nice
dad.
of you.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
look, be safe, whatever. Like, just don't, maybe bring your needles, but. Just like
just
I'm
don't
moving
leave them
in,
here.
so you're gonna want to go somewhere else. They came back, but like I tried.
It didn't work.
It didn't work
Gave
at
him
all.
a heads up. That's
Yeah.
the best you can do.
Yeah, I feel like I was like an upstate.
Yeah,
I didn't
just
judge
trying to
them.
help out your neighbor.
Who knows? Like who knows where it all started? So
Exactly.
They just need,
But
they
yeah,
need
so
a
like-
safe injection space like they have in
Yes.
Canada.
Here too.
Works very well.
Mm-hmm.
Ithaca, they started doing
Yeah?
that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I just wish they fucking did that in the United States.
Yeah.
That we're gonna go on a crazy rabbit.
Oh
hole.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
Google it.
That's a
Just Google
deep,
safe
deep,
injection space Joe
Portugal.
Rogan podcast, and you'll know where we were going to talk about. Because that's where I got all the information from.
Brad, can you talk about the farm?
Sure.
They're not going to get upset with all this, right?
Probably not. I'm sure they've heard it all.
So what farm is it?
Well, it's a little complicated, but
It's not Weed Farms, is it?
No, that's a neighbor though. He's
Well,
right,
that'd be nice,
right down the
but,
street.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well, you should tell him that it's false advertising, and I'm
it
very
is.
upset at him.
It is. Well, we're gonna go down that hemp road though.
Oh yeah?
Into
Do
that
it, man.
CBD oil. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
group over there doing it, and I guess
Really?
we're on the outskirts of it, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh, very cool.
But the farm. So my family ended up in Milton in 1817. So I'm
Whoa.
a seventh generation. We're just over 200 if you do the math on that one, and it kind of changes. Every generation makes changes as we go. I guess this is my change to go in this direction.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty wild. And that
I can't imagine
1817,
going like,
200
so
years.
my family's been doing this for 200 years. I can't no.
There's a little
I can't.
pressure
I can't
behind
even do
all
that.
though. There's a lot of pressure behind all that.
Yeah,
'cause-
of course. I can't imagine.
Yeah,
But-
everybody else made it go, and I don't know.
Well, everybody else kept it going because they
It's
had
just nobody failed until now, maybe.
yeah,
now.
until the booze came around and got you all loose headed.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the evolution of the business, and that's the business up here it's fucking booze, man.
It is.
It really is. It's apples
And a lot of the farms
booze
jumped
made out of
on
apples.
doing it.
Well, and I guarantee 200 years ago, when your
Oh,
family started that farm, most of those apples went to hard cider.
yeah.
That's, I mean, apples they're finite. They rot. So they would
Well, you
crush them
gotta-
into
there's
cider.
only so much
You'd
apple
have
butter one.
Those
hard
old
cider
varieties
over the
took a
winter.
long time though.
Huh?
Those old varieties were hard and bitter, and
Yeah.
they sat around forever.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
old
but-
like the literal like the cider apples are like they're like crab apples.
Yeah.
They're like this big
Yeah.
and they're shitty as hell.
But I had
That's
heard
what,
that like hard cider back way back when people would drink like 2 gallons of hard cider a week.
Yeah.
And granted, it was like 3% alcohol.
And that's why
but-
you drank.
Yeah,
so
but it
much.
was safer to drink than water.
Do you
That's
guys
true.
do you guys do the do you do the cider apples? Those that like
We don't do the
like
cider-
European
yeah,
like
there's-
crab apple type.
No, not really. You get into issues with it when you're crossing over between commercially growing them because of certain diseases and things.
Mhm.
One's called fire blight. A lot of those cider variety trees will carry fire blight, kills the trees. And a lot of the new varieties of apples we're growing for wholesale it'll wipe blocks out.
Yeah, you can't take that risk. Yeah,
so
right.
I'm not a fan. You know, we'll see how it goes.
The reason why I
it's
ask
very
is because I know we
because-
were up at the Angry Orchard Distillery, in
Brewery?
brewery,
Cidery?
cidery.
Cidery.
Yeah.
We were up by them, and we did the tour and everything like that. And I guess they brought in some cider maker from overseas, and he started bringing in the cider apples, specifically cider apples, and that's what they're trying to do is to make their cider completely 100% out of cider apples instead of just the regular whatever. At least that's what I was told.
Yeah.
I don't know how much
I don't wanna
shit they were
elaborate, 'cause
shoveling in their
I don't know if
I would
mouth.
imagine they're spraying those with a lot of things.
Well, I would imagine that it comes in and concentrate when they make such large amounts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And there's nothing from around here really used in those. I mean, I know the property. I know the apples that were on the property. I know they've replanted a lot of it. I haven't done the tour.
Mhm.
I'm a little biased, I guess, against such things. But they did come and talk to a lot of the growers early on, and it doesn't really mesh up with the stories I hear with what actually happened.
Little inside baseball. Maybe off mic I can chat with
yeah,
them.
we could do that, but I don't want to.
Not surprising at all.
No,
not surprising to me at
No,
all.
they're giant fucking corporations.
Exactly.
Like
and
the
that's
way
the problem.
way that I see it is like apples, sugar, and you breed apples to make more sugar,
Mhm.
and then the cider apples that they're talking about now, they're just older varieties. They're
a little bitter.
Yeah.
But they're looking for tannins too to add into things like that. And now instead of having apples with tannins in it, now you can just add tannins.
Yeah.
So it's a little cheaper.
I recently just had something from like upstate, and I don't know the name of it. But
Conveniently.
yeah, exactly. No, I'm not going to call him out like Brad just did.
That's all right.
But it had like their whole story, and like they imported all these trees from like England, and they wanted to do like a whole English thing. And I tried it, and I was with someone else, and we both drank it, and we're like, this is like fine. But like, so we make like, so essentially we're making hard cider before we distill it. And so we taste it, and I'm like, the stuff that I put in my still tasted better than this $30 bottle, like champagne bottle of hard cider. But they're doing it like the English way, so I guess you can do that.
Scrumpy.
I was over
There you go.
Scrumpy.
That's what they call it.
That might be the name.
Oh, I know that. I've had that. It's not good. Silence. A hush falls over the room.
I
What?
don't know what to say about like they drink it. It tends to. It has the I don't know, man. Like I'm reluctant to like disparage another form of someone's drink. It just seems like bringing European styles to this area seems wrong-headed, right? Like let the Calvados, let the Scrumpy, let the French cider live over there, and let us do our thing with the apples that we've grown here. Like
I had French.
Like the worst thing we can do is try to be French because we're just not.
Yeah.
Why would we want to be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Fuck
like
those
if we really
assholes.
want to be, we can just buy their stuff. Like they're good at it.
Yeah, and that being said, we had Obscure Oscillation in a couple of weeks ago, and they're doing Belgian style beers. That's setting them apart from what most Americans are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Omegang does that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but it's not like a big thing.
No.
But everybody's looking for their own niche in all these things.
Yeah.
And good for them for doing it. You know, like as long as they're taking their time and making something that tastes good, you know, more power to them. But if we're talking like if we're starting to like cheat to get the right kind of apples over, if we're starting to make like if we're starting to bend the rules here and there, then all of a sudden we're losing like focus of what's truly important, and that is making something delicious with the ingredients that are at hand in the freshest possible state.
We're lousy with apples in this fucking state,
we are
and they
lousy
want
with
to.
There's so many.
They want to bring more over.
More apples with less sugar in
It's
them.
got to be like 40% just get fucking thrown in the garbage. It has to be, right?
Let's go apple picking.
Oh man, all those apples that fall when you rent the basket for $5, and you're just trying to get that one nice one, and
You're not
3
eating
more
those
fall
anyway.
off.
You're beating those things up. You can't eat them after that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I go apple picking, and I just get one bag, one big ass bag. I make a bunch of pies, and Brooke makes apple butter, which is fucking awesome. Her apple butter rules. And then you still have half a bag left for snacking. And
So
then
all I needed was 25 apples for the whole year.
Yeah.
I have 59,
But it's so
and I
fun
want
and
to kill
easy.
myself.
It's so
'Cause
fun
we
and
do
easy.
that. I apologize, but we do like a pick your own.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
We do it with
Sure,
the
sure.
organic and the non-organic.
What's the name of the farm?
Clark's Family Farm.
Clark's Family Farm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come.
Also,
Let's go there instead of the one that we've been going to for years
the
that
one
I
we
fucking
go
hate.
to is up like it goes down a hill and then up a hill.
I'm
and
not
it's-
going to mention the name.
Is it across the river?
It's
Yes.
across the river. Yeah.
Is it near a high school?
Yes.
Is it across the street from a high school?
It's across the street from a parking lot.
That would be right up there.
I don't know. We'll tell you off the air. He knows it.
Yeah.
No,
Highland.
actually, I know
Yeah.
it. I know it. I know
right
exactly.
there.
Yeah, it's on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
That's where
so
we go.
I hate it so much. I hate apple picking because of there. Because it's a gigantic hike for things that I don't want to eat.
Wait, Dan, do
I
we
hate
know
it
that
so
guy
much.
too?
Hate it
We
so
do not.
much.
No.
Okay, it's not the guy.
Yeah. So it's not their fault. I
No.
just don't like apple picking and
Well,
stop.
you got to grow apples on a
Yeah.
hill, though. or
You know
else
what's
they
worse
freeze
than
up.
apple picking?
it's
is
fine. It's
raspberry
just
picking and
please,
strawberry
spin a hill.
picking.
Right.
No, I like raspberry picking. but
No,
I like,
that's
I
the
like
one-
wild raspberry picking in the woods.
No, I'm
With
talking
no
about the
shirt
farm.
on.
It's like they're 3 inches underground.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I've never done that on a farm. Just no, don't buy raspberries. Just go pick them on Sheaf Road.
What's
There's
the name
by
of
the mall.
billions of them.
What's the name of that
Seriously.
farm again?
So mine is Clark's Family Farm. My
Clark's Family
farm
Farm.
is Prospect Hill, which does cherries, peaches, and apples too.
Ooh, okay. Prospect Hill, Clark's Family Farm. All right, locked in.
But it's also Sunshine Orchards
Well,
too.
Sunshine Orchards is the wholesale side. So if you go to Adams in Poughkeepsie, we sell a lot of peaches and apples there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, good. Your peaches and apples are great. There.
I
I got a problem with
I
their
don't
Brussels
eat-
sprouts.
I don't
this
eat a ton
past
of. I don't
week.
eat a ton of fruit.
I'm just fucking.
Like I like fruit, but it just feels like nature's candy. So I just avoid sugar as much as I can.
And the thing with apples is if you've grown up here, you're just surrounded by them.
Always.
So you
All the
just
time.
you constantly need a break from apples. and
Can
with
we
the
stop
cider,
this and try something else?
Yeah,
really
yeah,
quick?
we need to move on. But
Can we
like,
try something
Yeah,
oaky?
we need to try other things.
We're gonna go.
what doesn't
We're
have
running
apples
out
in
of
it? No,
time.
I'm
All
just
right.
kidding.
So this one's gonna be. This is a French oak that we did.
Oh.
Yeah, their oak is good. We can take the oak
Enchanté.
from France.
Well, I was
Enchanté.
going to say I was in Paris a couple years ago, and I tried some of their
Walt needs some.
Walt.
Yeah,
the hand with the glass.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I was I
Maybe I
went.
should have been Jesse and not Walt.
We went to a.
Thank you.
I like Jesse better.
It could be Heisenberg.
We went to a
Heisenberg is even better. Wait,
Yeah.
we went to a crepe place.
Yeah,
and
he's
I-
Heisenberg from now on. We've decided.
It has been decided.
I always wanted to be Heisenberg.
We went to a crepe place, and I started ordering. We had walked quite a while to get to this crepe place, and we just went there because we found out that they. This is a long story. Crepes are
Buckwheat
traditionally gluten free. They're made out of buckwheat, so there's no gluten in it. So we went to this place because they are a traditional crepe place, and little did we know it's like one of the best places in Paris. We didn't know. We just kind of walked in. I started ordering cider like a fucking madman because we'd been walking all day. I want to get drunk. And the guy was just like,
It is 4:30, and I am not drunk on
it
vacation.
wasn't even 4:30. It was like noon. It was a lunch. We were
Well,
having
noon
lunch.
on vacation. You should be drunk.
The waiter's taking my order, and he goes, thirsty? And I was just like, very. And he goes, you know what? I'm going to give you some of our local cider. It's much better. And the French cider, way different than what we have here. It's like richer and more musky, I guess is the better way. But God
There's a
damn.
place in Millbrook doing. I just got a bottle for my birthday. I turned 40 today. But we had a
Happy
party.
birthday.
happy
Today?
birthday.
Yeah, today's
Happy birthday.
Should we have sounder?
I wish I should have baked a cake.
I always forget it.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday. What do I
Walt
got
is
Yeah,
here?
my phone's
Oh
or
my
my
gosh.
my computer's
that
still
suck?
silent. By the way,
No, that's not a good one.
Sing it again, rookie biatch.
I don't know. Those aren't birthday things.
It's okay.
Oh, here we go. Here's a
Slash,
good one.
My computer is still silent.
Hail Satan.
Yeah, you go.
Perfect.
My
Is there a
Well, happy
salute?
birthday.
Thank you.
So cider, Millbrook.
So yeah, so there's this place. Uncle Mark actually got it for me, and it's like I haven't tried it yet, but he's saying how great it is, and it's like a very like musty, like you can't see through it. It's very like thick.
Yeah, that's what this
Yeah.
stuff was. It was.
Is it the guy we had the conversation with?
It's like I think he might be in cahoots with him.
Yeah.
Or like they know each other.
There's so much vagary on this episode. I love it.
There has to be vagary because
Hashtag vagary. Well, there's things in the works. I get it. No. I'm not.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
But
Because-
this is a small place, and everybody knows everybody. Everybody's somebody's wife's uncle's brother who lives in the city who wants to buy property. So there's no avoiding. There's no avoiding vagary.
Yeah. You got to be friendly, even
Yeah.
though you don't want to be.
Well, no, you kind of. I mean, you kind of want to be. It's hard to.
Do you want to be?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
I do.
Very positive.
That's why we work, because John likes to be a good person. I'm kind of a terrible
I
person.
think you
Yeah.
are. I think you are a good
bully.
person, Dan.
I'm a bully. I bullied the Jurassic Park guy.
Never once were you a bully.
Oh,
well, this is great.
You did have a
You could-
sweater vest
I
phase in high
bullied
school.
Jurassic
I did
Joe.
have
That could be your like T-shirt.
Jurassic
It just
Joe.
says Queen City Farm Distillery right on the front, the label and everything, which I do love the imagery of
Oh,
your
thanks.
label.
Yeah.
I really do
honestly
enjoy it.
didn't notice the
And then on the
bridge
back-
in it until today,
And just on the back, I bullied Jurassic Joe, and that's all.
or just
And
fuck
I'm
Jurassic
sorry.
We should
Joe.
do commercials with Jurassic Joe. You know, like where we
Oh,
find him
God.
places and just.
Oh,
bug him
and
for
you
being-
apologize, and you do this big thing.
Yeah, but not in Poughkeepsie. Like we
Yeah.
apologize at the Oscars. We
yeah,
apologize.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Like,
hey,
you make a
we're-
big thing, like extreme home makeover.
We're Walt and Dan from high school. We just wanted to take this moment to apologize to you for making the cups rattle at Starbucks that time. You were great in Queen.
was he in that?
Yeah, he was like Brian May. or
Oh
so-
no!
No, he wasn't.
He if he wasn't Brian May, he was like another
He was one of the members of
one
Queen.
of the queens. Yeah.
Hold on.
I feel so much worse.
Let's talk about what we're drinking right now.
All right.
Sure. Yeah, you got it. So this is just this is a simple one. This is 120 proof. This is an older one. We just did French oak. So instead of an American oak, it's just French oak. It's a medium char. So it's should be should
I'd
be
li-
pretty smoky, but not too bad.
I'd like to say for the record, this is my fucking jam.
Really?
It's got a
I'm
very
gonna have to agree with you there.
like
it
a
is also my
brandy kind
jam.
of flavor. I like that
Yes.
a lot. Yeah.
Oh man, see that oak flavor is there.
I think
but
we got the
it's
same
not-
palate, man. You like the
I'm
one too.
I don't like. I'm not huge on oak, but
I hate oak in wine. Love oak in distillates.
see,
Likewise.
Full agree
Yeah.
there.
I think there's a
Can I
lot.
shoot your dogs really quickly? Just because I
They're-
want to kill
They're
them.
very
having
excited.
fun. They're very jovial.
All right. Well, we're trying
Um,
to do a podcast here, and all I hear is them.
Brock, shoot the dogs.
Just shoot them in the face.
Are they the same age?
No, the black one is 6 years old, and the copper one is a year old,
Nice.
give or take.
You can call him Al if you'd like.
Yeah, his name's Alistair, but you can call him Al.
He calls me Betty.
Nice, nice, Walt. But I think there's like a tipping point for me when it comes to oak flavor in things, and this is like right on that. It's like perfect amount where it's like, I don't know, it gives off like a caramel kind of.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
flavor.
got that
It's
like
not scotchy.
it's
Yeah.
vanilla-y,
Yeah.
and then you got the smoke, and then a little sweetness at the back.
Mhm.
Like I feel that sweetness at the back of my throat.
I like this a lot.
It's fantastic.
May I have more?
Oh, absolutely, go for it.
And
well,
this is 120 proof.
this is 120 proof.
Okay.
We also.
I'm gonna have a hard
I wish I didn't. I wish I brought it,
Tomorrow's
but
gonna be
Yeah,
rough.
you're not. Are you working tomorrow?
I am at 6.
At 6.
I'm opening.
You stupid son of a bitch.
I'm opening so I can charge people $6 for a small cup of coffee.
Nice.
It's
Or
only
$18 for a Yeti
$1.95.
You're a worse person than I am.
So talk to me about this one.
Yeah, so you have the French oak, but I wish I had brought it maybe another time. But we also have been experimenting with cherry wood and apple wood, and
Okay.
actually we're going to be using some of the actual wood from the farm, and we're going to try.
And we did cherry and
apricot.
Yep.
So we have to char that up and run that and see how that tastes. But it's really all about just, that's why we have like all these 1 liter containers, because we just want to try all these different things.
R&D.
That's it.
Yeah, I think I'm one of those people, and I guess I'm a fringe kind of person when it comes to this kind of stuff. But when I see something odd or something off the wall, like if I saw lemon thyme apple moonshine on the menu, I'm gonna try it because I want to know. I want to see what it tastes like, and that's just me though. But this is just oak, nothing else in it.
Just French oak.
This
It's
is
a
the apple
medium.
shine in the French oak.
That's it. And at 120 proof.
Sometimes simple is the way to go. But yeah, this is I could drink a gallon of this. This is really good.
So this one's French oak, American oak, cherry wood. This is actually the stuff.
We still have
I
like
wanna
3
try
other
that one
things.
too.
To
I
try.
know.
But like, I could drink a gallon of this. Is what should be on the back of the T-shirts. Like that's exactly what we're going for. Is
We're just like, I'd be fine dying after drinking a gallon.
The person I'm opening with tomorrow doesn't drink at all. Is totally sober, so she's gonna have no sympathy for me.
So is she that way after a long hard road, or is she that way without the long hard road?
That's
the one in
that's
recovery?
her. Yeah, that's her.
Because I have tremendous.
That's her
respect for
thing.
those
I'm
who
not
get
gonna
there
go
after
into
the
it.
long hard road, but those who have not been down that road, I just don't understand how you made it that far without any sort of vices.
Frank McGinnis.
Your fucking brother, Matthew.
He just goes like, "Yeah, I've drank. I don't like it."
That's
Yeah.
Is there something else though? Like,
So my brother is totally sober. Only in that he's
not a
doesn't-
fan.
He's not a fan.
okay.
Whereas probably the person that you're talking about.
I don't want to go too deep.
No, but
No.
they're in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I mean, I
And
totally get that.
that's definitely
That's
that's not giving anything away.
Right.
That's
But yeah,
Everybody's got
I mean,
their
somebody
vices,
who's in recovery, who's been on the show. I mean, it's like
She's not gonna have sympathy.
it's just like,
Regardless.
can I drink in front of you? She's like, I don't like. I'm not drinking, so you do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
It was very weird for me.
Yeah.
Just because, like, is that gonna be hard for you? She's like, no. I just
Meanwhile, the two of us
Yeah.
would be like,
yeah. I know. Can you just give me that? Yeah.
Just stick my finger in it.
So it's like, which one of us has the problem?
right? But
Yeah.
I mean, Adam's brother, he doesn't drink, but he weaves an incredible Dungeons and Dragons story. He's
Okay,
my,
so that's the same thing.
he's my DM,
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
my dungeon master. We call him Dungeon Daddy to make it more awkward.
And the masks come into play with the one with the beak.
Yeah, some weeks yes, some weeks no. It all depends.
Can I try the cherrywood one?
Oh, this is the everything.
The everything one, please.
Okay.
One with everything,
So we definitely have to
like Buddha.
All right, so I have to hold on. I have to shoot this. Oh, that's good. It's really supposed. Actually, you know what? That was kind of a
Just so
big
you know,
glug.
everything
No
tastes
issues.
everything tastes better after 180 proof pear.
That's correct.
or peach. Yeah. Everything is much better at that point.
But like our standard stuff in oak, I could drink all afternoon and just talk and talk way too much for hours until the guests leave. We're like, oh, you gotta go. I'll still be back there talking.
Yeah.
This is my guy.
That's good.
That French oak one is really. It's
Yeah,
putting a stamp on.
It's very what I would want out of like a brandy.
And it's got that Highlands
Yeah.
like Scotch color too.
Yeah, it's rich.
Yeah.
Is a good. I think is a good word for it. It's rich because it's got a high. It seems like it's got a higher viscosity or a thicker viscosity than the rest of them, and I
Yeah.
don't know what that and that's what makes it start leaning more toward like a heavy brandy or a Scotch or
cognac
bourbon.
situation.
Yeah,
cognac Scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the high alcohol plus the little bit of sweetness at the back.
Correct.
I feel like I'm gonna have to stay up drinking water the rest of the night. Like at
You're
least
gonna have a tough time
because
that's ideal.
I don't really drink a whole lot. I have
You're a little fella. So.
I have a I'm svelte.
Yeah, he's like a progeria kid.
Yeah.
Just he's like 5'9".
Skinny fat is
He's
the
a
word.
5'9" progeria kid.
Skinny fat guy.
You should see me wear a baseball cap. All right, so this is the let's call it the 2 barrels because
It's a little bit of everything. So
yeah,
we've
it's a little
got
bit of everything. You hit it
all
with
sorts of
both
different kinds of
barrels.
wood in there.
That's so
Double
good.
barrel.
So the
That's a good
cherry
name
wood
for
is
it.
changes the
Yeah.
entire world. And so I actually do the cherry wood myself. And so when I toast it a little bit deeper. And so I can get like better color out of it. This actually isn't as dark as it could be. So I'll take the cherry wood, I'll char it pretty significantly, and it really sweetens it.
Cherry wood is weird. Where you like, I can taste it.
Like
You
I don't
taste-
think
I
you can. Here's what's weird, man. Like I don't think you can make a barrel out of cherry wood, or at least I don't know that they make barrels out of cherry wood. But now we
It's
can
not a
take,
hardwood, right?
I don't
it's
really know.
Cherry?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it hardwood?
soft.
It's hard as a fucking
Yeah.
brick.
Yeah,
and
but is it like-
I have a cherry tree out. I have a wild cherry tree
thought
in my
fruits are
backyard.
soft.
Trying to cut that motherfucker down
That was not a.
is a bitch.
Well, but you can flavor, your booze with it now. So that whole spectrum opens up.
Yeah.
So this is the future, right? Like I'm sure a marketer will figure out a way to make it sound awesome, but really it's just
You guys do cherries, right?
Yeah, a wood you wouldn't normally use, but
They do cherry
it does
wood.
change everything, just like Dan said.
Yeah.
So now that we know we can do that, like we should continue to keep doing that.
Yeah. You make a cherry moonshine, right? And then age it in cherry wood barrels and call it cherry bomb. Boom. And you got the whole exactly. You got the whole Joan Jett and the Runaways thing going on.
Black Hearts or Runaways?
Oh fuck! I think it's Black Hearts now. No, it's the Runaways.
Is there a new band?
Son of a bitch.
You know she was married to the lead singer of Simple Minds.
Oh God, we're gonna
Really?
go down a
Yeah.
totally.
Oh no!
weird
Are you
road
like
right
are you
now.
like a
No.
you like an audiophile?
No,
kind
I'm
of
not.
person?
I'm not. But I just
I
I
happen
like
to
how
know
you
that
reel
Ryan-
everybody in.
Yeah, Ryan is he's an idiot savant when it comes to
music,
music.
That's not a compliment.
It's the fucking Runaways. Yes.
What
Fuck
the
you,
Black
Walt.
It's the only thing he's ever.
Hearts? It's
right about.
Heisenberg.
This is my house.
It is. So where do the Black Hearts go? Joan Jett and the.
That was later.
All right.
Moving along.
I told you it was an audio
it
file.
does add a specific
A
specific flavor.
I would say this is my favorite thing that we've had tonight.
Really?
Yeah,
Hallelujah. That's what's supposed to be your.
I'm a
favorite
bourbon guy.
That was
Yeah.
this comes from our first large distilling batch. So we actually this took us like 2 or 3 batches, and we were able to have like a 6-gallon container and age everything. So this is our first one. So this is from like the very beginning. So this should be the best.
It's a lot, dude. You go
And-
just like, okay. So if you want to make something like this, something aged, and you want to call it whatever the government tells you you can call it, she's like, all right, so we can sell this for 2 years, 6 years.
Well, 2 years
9
go by
years.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like the percentages that we came up with. I mean, we just got like
what's
that.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but what's the proof on this one? Just real quick.
That should be 120 proof.
Okay. Sorry.
So we age pretty much everything at 120.
Okay.
It's kind of the industry standard.
The percentages. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so we're kind of so when we came up with this, the exact amount of American oak, French oak, cherry wood, apple wood, like we finally were like, this is what we wanted. We had done a whole bunch of the small ones. We were like, and we had, if you go to my, to the distillery, there's just shelves of these containers. It's like, which one's going to work? And we finally this is the best one, which is what have here, which is the American, French, and cherry. And that's kind of where we figured out it works out really well. The cherries, I think that's what's going to change, is what's going to be the difference between us and everyone else.
Yeah.
sweet
I
little-
agree. It adds a sweetness to it, and yeah, it's delicious. This
great.
one's good.
Yeah.
Still harping on that French oak one.
It's good. You should have some more.
I don't even like the French all that much, but
Oh,
their
who
oak is
does?
wonderful.
I think the French are like a sleeper society. Like, they got really cool stuff.
They got cool shit, but they're not. Yeah, they're not
They
like, hey,
themselves are
look
not
at us
cool.
about it.
No. I'm going to disagree. They themselves are that cool. Like, their pop music is cool now. Like, their culture's cool now.
Strong disagree.
No,
Hard
man.
pass.
The new stuff is like legit cool.
As a world
Daft
traveler,
Punk.
As a
world traveler,
I've been to Oktoberfest.
Did you visit
Sir.
the
Excuse me, sir.
I find that the French, and not the French, Parisians, is, from what I've been told by other Parisians, is that they have their own niche, much like a New York, someone from New York City, a New
Fair.
Yorker.
I could see that.
They're cold, super sarcastic, and it's just, I don't think that they're dickheads. They just come off as dickheads to us because we're very outgoing and very loud and very smiley and like, hey, come
Cunts.
on,
We're kind of cunts.
Yeah, we are douchebags. We are
Mm-hmm.
douchebags in other countries. We are douchebags. Have you been?
This
I haven't
reminds
been
me
to
of that
France,
like
but-
that soliloquy in the what's that movie with oh come on, it was like stop animation, the same guys who did South Park, Team America.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
very
Puppet
end
show.
when he's describing like, well, we're like this and they're like that,
Yeah.
and sometimes your this is get covered in that,
America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
the
yeah.
one.
How do you feel, Dan?
Honestly, so we are that way and they are that way, but like their stuff's cool now, and I think that we ignore their coolness at our own peril. When I was a kid, our internet beat their internet. Now their internet beats our internet, and that's dangerous. Like, they're faster than us.
Well, Don,
Faster.
Don
they're,
is
they're
is-
faster. Yeah,
is shaking his head.
See, all right. So I have
adamantly.
I have like a couple of sunshines in me. So I may or may not.
I think we all have a lot of sunshine within
Let it
us.
fly.
Right,
This is
right.
the part of the podcast where it gets good.
This is the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
is
wait,
this
so
is why the
this
man
is
behind
what
the
you've
curtain
all
is
been
behind the
waiting for.
curtain.
Yeah,
you
it's a good
started. You
personal
opened up,
clock.
Dan. You had the sunshine in you. So what is it you want to say?
No, like I think we're abundantly better than the Parisians. I mean, first of all, we've never been occupied by a German force.
Oh snap!
So I mean,
Yeah, we've never been occupied by Germans.
right. Exactly.
Okay.
Just by English and anyways.
right.
So
Cincinnati is occupied by Germans. Let's be fair.
no,
They-
I
their
don't know.
chili's
Like
crazy.
I'm just not a fan of the French. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the French people out there, and I'm actually a quarter French.
Yeah.
French Canadian though, so it's different.
I'm part French as well. And going over there, my first reaction was like, man, these people are dicks. But then the more I talked to, like, I would purposely start conversations just to see, like, what's your fucking deal? And it was just like, oh, they're just not, everything.
They're just not American.
Everything's very level.
They probably
Like-
had the same thought about you. You're from New York? Oh.
Yeah, yeah. They immediately thought.
I mean, New York is a lot like Paris. You just said it.
Well, they're
New
very,
York City.
They're very level. They're not too excited or not too happy and to see you, but at the same time, they're not that mad at you, and they're not that like they just don't want to show too much emotion to people that they don't know. And I, as me being me,
That sounds like
I kind of
Poughkeepsie,
understand
man.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, man.
One more.
Do I have to have another?
You
Yeah.
know, or
Yeah,
you,
I
if,
want
you can eat the pear if you want.
Here, I have a special tasting glass.
I want the double
I
barrel.
do not want to eat the pear.
It's the
Don't
pear
eat
one.
the
Waltz.
Heisenberg.
Yeah, there you go. The hand is back. The hand of Walt.
This is super sugary. Just the pear. Just
What do you mean super sugary?
Oh, it smells.
No,
super
I want
sugary.
the okay.
Nothing was added. I mean, this is 120 proof.
Mhm.
It's just the pear just did it.
So what is this that's in my hand now?
That's pear with oak.
Oh wow, that's from way back, huh?
Yeah, it's from a long time ago.
Like 2016.
No, it's
Nope.
from the day that you got your license.
From, from right when we began.
Right, the
right.
day we got our
Yeah,
license. Sorry.
That's
I think-
good.
I think it's really good.
Yeah, nice.
It's got a little like weird bite at the end of it,
It does. You're absolutely right there.
and it's
It's got a little weirdness there.
Now what's in that?
A pear.
Pear and
Pear and oak.
And oak. Okay, it must be the oak.
And distilled
It
from.
is. It is the oak.
All the other ingredients are the same, so everything's apple honey.
This is like
might be a-
leaning on the edge of like a. I always forget.
Super
You
sweet.
can say it.
Di-
Liqueur.
Well, digestif is
Yeah.
the sweeter,
Digestif.
sweeter, lower alcohol, and the aperitif is higher alcohol, lower sugar content.
This is
If
like
I'm not
this
mistaken.
really reminds me of like good Southern moonshine,
Yeah.
where it was just like, yeah, we just put a bunch of fruit in it because we made it in a pressure cooker
No, I
in
want
the
this.
kitchen.
I want this on ice cream.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, that's
Sure.
a good point.
Yeah, this is late in the evening when the men retire to cigars and
That's the key to life, right? That moment when you retire to cigars and
We're
talk.
just like, thank you for cooking dinner, honey. I will not help you clean up. I'm going to go into another room.
I will make
and
a
I'm going
useless
to-
gesture at
yeah.
cleaning up. I will put my bowl in the dishwasher and then I will leave.
Does this world exist?
It,
This a thing?
you-
I wish
it's a
we could.
lonely world.
I wish we could find a balance between Downton Abbey and now, like where you did retire after the dishes were done.
That's fair.
You kind of
did
can. You have to have
retire.
all the kids team up and clear the table at the same time.
I'm not saying that we should divide the women and men. I'm just saying that
It'd be nice.
There are moments.
That's what you're saying.
So 20-minute
I
increments,
wouldn't
right?
be
Like,
against it.
40
I'm
minutes.
just saying that, like, why can't, like, we shouldn't be totally against it. Like, what if we all retire to separate rooms and drink our separate, like, whatever we feel like drinking
then
and talk shit about
touch
each other?
penises, right?
That's-
Yeah.
That's what you're looking
Just
for.
touch penises and be like, man, these women. Fap, 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 fap.
Does a little space docking.
I find
Yeah.
that conversation between men usually is blessedly devoid of all relationship talk. You just talk about anything else, and it's all about what you don't say, right? Like that's the holy moment. You're not talking about, oh man, my marriage is real tough. You know, you talk about like something practical, something immediate. You just have a moment when you're not like a slave to all your obligations, and it doesn't have to be more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 40 minutes is perfect.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, a dinner party, I'm going to do this. I swear to God, I'm going to do this.
Okay, let's
We're gonna have
let's do it. Let's do
I
it.
want a dinner party
I
where
think that's why the Italians play bocce. No woman has ever.
I am
My wife
Sicilian
loves
and I
bocce.
own
Really?
a bocce
She
set,
does?
and I
Loves it.
love bocce.
Bocce's
I
pretty
thought
amazing.
bocce was designed to be a sport rejected by women.
No, my wife is a fucking gamer.
love it.
All right.
If there's a
His
game,
wife-
if there's a game of
Okay,
here's
let's-
the thing. My
let's just-
wife would
let's
come
just
with
say-
us for cigars and brandy.
Yeah,
Well, that's great.
yeah. Ryan's wife will kick the shit out of him in any male-oriented thing.
I don't believe there are rules
If
in
it's
bocce.
a card
Except baseball.
game,
I'm a boss. I'm a boss.
baseball or softball.
All right. Moving on.
Softball is one of the saddest games that can be played by men.
I mean, just
Oh no! Oh, Walter.
I mean, like I've never heard a story about your wife breaking your hand playing softball. I've heard a story about.
No, it's cool if girls do it, but
you
like
doing that. So
brutal.
Big talk behind the curtain.
I'm sorry. Are you,
all
are you-
right, we'll be
are
right
you
back with more gender normative conversations.
Are you like a softball like star locally, or
Yeah, he played slow pitch softball with his dad and broke his hand.
Honestly, in all reality, honestly, my father is actually a little bit famous locally for softball, for men's softball.
in no way do I mean to insult.
I don't know why you picked on
But
bocce.
there is a Dutchess County Hall of Fame. I passed
played
it on
in a bocce
9D.
league.
Is,
What?
Yeah, there's a Dutchess
You
County
can
Hall of
drink
Fame.
and play bocce all day.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
Don't put it up with softball. Jesus.
But I mean, okay. So there's like softball and there's men's slow pitch softball.
Jesus Christ! Like, how
It's
do
a
you even
different
roll
thing.
up to
It's
that
just a
parking
different
lot?
thing. It's just a different thing. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to.
I'm not big into sports. I'm not athletic. You can make fun of me as much as you want, but there is a difference between softball and men's slow pitch softball. They're just it. Like you see that girl like whack, like a woman fucking whipping that thing at 85 fucking miles an hour.
It's because they were taught. If I was taught the same thing, I'd be.
But
able
it
to
wouldn't
throw
be
85
allowed.
miles. No,
it wouldn't be
85.
allowed
It'd
in
be more like
men's slow
55.
pitch softball.
Their butts
No,
look wetter than yours
Yeah.
too.
You have to. It's arc. You have to arc it.
It's kind of like a return
That's
to
the problem.
T-ball.
Is where
And-
there's just
and-
like
and the high
no,
socks.
we gotta dial it way back because 50% of the people here can't run.
High socks that are like for varicose veins.
Oh my goodness, so hot.
I wore high socks playing baseball and softball.
I'm not.
And
again,
softball
I
after I was out of the baseball.
I need
like,
to reiterate, like I'm not an athletic person. I'm a big fat guy.
Yeah,
but,
you're here.
But I can still make fun of this.
which is why I have such conflict.
But you can't just be like, but you. No,
Do you guys have kids?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
He will never have kids. I'm working
Come on,
it
it happens in an instant.
It does.
Quite literally.
It's a true story.
What, children or
Yeah, children.
softball? Oh.
So once that happens, they play sports, and their sports become
Yeah, and then you have to pretend like they're good at it.
well, okay for a while. And
Well,
Yeah.
Unless they really are.
if
No,
we,
no.
all right.
Okay, so the
my
worst thing
kids.
that can happen to you is that your kid actually is really good at it, because then that's a whole different. I'm not. Super
Yeah, because
familiar
then
with
you're
that
like, this is going to cost me $26,000
No, no,
over
no.
the next
No,
18
And
I'm
years.
every
gonna-
weekend
I'm gonna
for the
g-
next 10 years.
I'm going to give you a scenario for my father. He is very good at men's slow pitch softball.
I think you've mentioned that already.
But
Okay.
It's a niche
honestly,
market.
stop,
hang on,
stop.
no, no.
I
He's
kinda
also
wanna do a
very good
podcast
at
with your
kung
father.
fu.
Yeah,
Like
well,
your dad is a man's man.
he's
I would like
Really?
cigars and brandy with your father.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
got he wears a mustache and you don't notice, and that's a big fucking deal.
I have that with Dan. I keep
Like,
forgetting he has that.
I'm not talking about the manliness of your
I
dad.
noticed your mustache coming
Is
in.
it- is
no
it-
I
offense.
apologize.
because
Just
sometimes he
saying.
shaves it and I forget he shaves it. Is it on now or no? Behind the curtain.
I'm just saying, my father, men's slow pitch softball. He also he was assistant coach for my senior league team, which is fast pitch baseball.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Novak was on that. Remember?
oh yeah, absolutely.
And he says
Babe Ruth, they called it.
the best he ever the best he ever played was during when he was coaching our team, because he would pitch batting practice to us. So his arm got ridiculous, better than it was before, which was a big fucking deal because, like I said,
He's
pretty
a big
popular.
deal
I'm
in
just-
softball.
I'm just going off on a tangent, and I don't even know where I am because of all this goddamn moonshine.
No, it's sunshine.
Oh, sunshine! This is
It's out in
not
the
moonshine.
open.
Sunshine.
You pay the taxes.
Yeah.
It's out in
It's
the open,
legit.
and
They have a license.
You're right.
I like that.
We
Sunshine.
pay taxes. Womp womp.
I don't even know where I am.
That should be our T-shirt.
What I'm
I
trying
don't
to
even
say
know where I
is
am.
that
That's another T-shirt.
your dad is a man's man.
Because of the
and
fast.
I am not.
One, he learned. In
That's
the
not what I was
pitching
trying
your
to say,
team.
but thank you for saying it.
That's where he was going.
Now, where were we?
I don't know. I was just
We
trying to
just
say
say stuff.
that men's slow pitch softball is not a sport.
This is what happens when you book a distillery.
Did we try them all? That's the question.
This is our.
Yes,
Have we
this is
tried
what
them all?
Did we, what's this?
No, we have.
What's the one with no
the man in the corner behind the curtain asked if we have tried them all.
I asked if you guys had children. You said no, and then I was like, "Wow, there's a whole side of life."
No,
the
no,
roller
no.
coaster.
We have not had children.
sunshine.
Ryan is like, "Fuck no, I do not want children." And I'm like,
They're
"Yes,
cute, though.
I'm working on it. I'm getting married in
Congratulations
like
to you.
3 months."
Nice.
Really, 3 months?
Is there a soundbite to be like, no, don't do it?
So what?
6 months.
What's the time?
No, it's not 6 months. It's
What-
3 months. I'm getting
Tell
married
me-
in September.
Tell me about your thoughts on a bachelor party.
Oh, we're gonna take a cool trip
As soon as we figure it out, me and one other guy.
Yeah.
perfect.
So
figure it all out.
We're gonna go.
So Ryan, my best man, and our UPS driver, who's the biggest fan of this show, they're gonna plan my bachelor party, which is gonna be
Terrible. I'm sorry.
Just going to. Well, it's gonna be terrible for you.
Planning it is going to be terrible.
Oh yeah.
The actual execution is going to
Hey,
be fine.
I already did it for you.
Is it mostly smiles or?
Do not fuck with me.
I have zero complaints. And
Right down
I
the
have the
road.
bones.
Your bachelor party completely fell to shit 7 times before it fucking happened.
I'm sorry. The term was failed to what?
Okay. Let's dial it back.
So where was your
really
bachelor
quick.
party?
Yeah.
So
That's
so
County
Ryan got
Airport.
married like 8 years ago,
2009.
9 years ago.
Yeah. No.
That's 10.
Your 10-year
almost 10
anniversary
years.
is coming up,
Yeah,
right?
sure
This
is.
Halloween.
Yeah, 10
Well
years.
done.
So it's
Thank you.
well done sticking with your wife.
Yeah.
Good job. So
Me.
Ryan got married almost a decade ago, and we came up with these like we talked about it, but the idea was like let's go to Six Flags. Like let's go to.
I'm not a stripper guy.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Nor am I.
I'm more of a have fun with it.
With your friends.
I am a retire to the billiard room with the men for cigars and scotch.
There you go.
Are you talking about at an amusement park with a bunch of children?
In Trenton, New Jersey. Or did you go to the one in Mass?
Loosely, you know what I mean.
Fair.
So
Okay.
we kind of decided to go to Six Flags.
The Jersey one?
It would have been Jersey.
Yep.
And that was the idea, except for we planned the whole fucking thing, and this was 8-9 years ago. It's before like the internet was like really prevalent and everything.
Like a virus.
Wasn't
Did you
prevalent in
print out the
2000?
MapQuest?
It was there. It was
It
there.
wasn't dial-up anymore.
But
No, 8 years ago, you still printed out the MapQuest.
it was there, but you didn't buy tickets to Six Flags on the internet
Well,
at
that's
that
true.
point.
True.
And we figured out a few weeks before that Six Flags was closed that day.
Was it like January?
No, it was. This was in like June.
Oh, why was it closed?
It was closed for a corporate private event.
Oh, bummer. The 1%, man.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Every time.
Was that you?
It was, but I must have pushed.
Anywho,
Sorry.
so so Six Flags was closed that day, and we figured this out a couple of weeks before.
So you just went to Trenton instead.
So we wound up going.
Newark had a sale on some drinks.
Newark had a sale. Went to a Red Bulls game.
We heard Cory Booker was doing a thing.
Cory Booker was going to like...
Cory Booker
Show
was
for
like
my-
22 and not a presidential candidate at that point.
Oh shit!
But we wound up going to the Lake George Six Flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So we
called The
drove
Great Escape.
all the way up there.
And it was overcast,
That's
and
some
there
dedication.
was nobody there, and it
Yeah.
was fucking awesome.
It was great.
I
It
love
wound
that
up
place.
working out. It wound up working out fine.
Tons of fun.
But
My niece and my nephew, I took there. My niece lost her retainer, like, on my watch. And I ended up having to apologize, like, real hard. She left it on her tray at the cafeteria. That's a real danger. And it was more or less my fault, because she took it out to eat a meal I paid for. And that's okay. Like, I'm a big fan of my niece. But you got to watch out for the nieces and nephews.
well, so our plan for my bachelor party is to go northeast and just go to breweries and just do like a brewery, like wine trail kind of weekend.
Sure.
Or you can go to
And
Massachusetts and just do
and
dispensaries.
I mean, we can mix that in right there too.
I'm not a fan.
You
No,
know,
I
those two
I don't
recreations
smoke,
don't mix.
so
Yeah, I mean either.
yeah. No, of course not. You're a business owner. Why would you take that risk with a horrible, horrible drug?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen the 1960s movies. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll become
I
a
have
heroin
Reefer
addict
Madness
like
on
that.
DVD. I watch it every week.
My friend in college used to say it can't be bad because, quote, it comes from the earth.
ERF.
And
Didn't you go to NYU?
I did.
And on that note,
It's like Wesleyan, except like better. Sorry.
holy shit. So, we've been doing this for 2 hours, guys.
It's been fun though.
And I'm fucking plastered.
No,
It's
no.
really difficult for me to form sentences, and
But we're still here. We're like cockroaches.
I appreciate it. First Distillery on?
Huh?
The First Distillery.
Yeah.
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 You guys are the first legit distillery on this show.
Well,
Thank
the only
you for
reason
calling
we're a
us
legit
legit.
distillery is because of Dan.
Thank you. Thank
That
you
is
also,
true.
Walt.
And my favorite part of this is that you brought the farmer with you. That's awesome.
Unexpectedly, actually.
Oh yeah?
Well, yeah, I found out yesterday.
Yesterday?
When we were
We've
distilling
been talking about this
yesterday.
for weeks.
Weeks?
I found out Friday.
Okay, so we were talking about the. I've been talking about it for weeks with the uncle.
Mark.
There you go.
Uncle Mark.
Uncle Mark.
Shout out to Uncle Mark for making all this happen. Guys, did we miss anything? What did we miss? What's in that?
To be honest, the only thing that we didn't drink
That's
was
true.
just straight up is apple sunshine, which is actually what we're selling.
Yeah, you should try that.
That's the only thing we haven't drank. But
Well, I
all
drank
have
that earlier.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
my
Fine.
first
You don't
drink.
have
I mean, that's what'll be at First Friday.
yeah,
That
that's what'll be there. This is You
yeah.
guys enjoy this. This is what we're calling. This is a Paloma. So it's grapefruit.
Man, I treat it like a martini. I
is
put
that?
like some ice cubes at parties and walk
yeah.
around with it, and everything's golden.
This will change your
Can I
life.
have some too? Did you say this will change your life?
I haven't had
Yeah.
this.
Say.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, do that with
feel
lime.
like I
What's-
feel like the
he's
one that.
looking.
Walt's
The
back
hand
in.
is looking for
The
something.
hand.
What do you want?
The sunshine, please.
Sunshine, please.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You have your headphones on. So it's Queen City Farm Distillery.
We're in Milton now, distilling. We're going to be hopefully in Poughkeepsie,
Thank
back to the Queen City of the Hudson River, and we will be also hopefully doing some
On the
more
farm, yep.
on the farm. So we're going to be kind of the nice thing about farm distilleries in New York State is we're allowed to have 5 locations. 5.
Oh well, because
So-
of the farm
Side.
stamp, yeah.
Yep.
Right. So we're going to have we should hopefully have Poughkeepsie and Milton locked up, and then we'll see kind of where it goes from there.
There's
Yeah,
actually
as
a
opposed
question.
to like farm breweries. They can have one,
Yeah.
and then if you want another one, you got to pay them a couple $100,000. It's crazy.
Well, they haven't figured that out for us yet, so.
yeah,
Let's not
yeah.
give them
Keep
any
that
ideas.
shit quiet.
Our distillery also, the one that when we open up in Poughkeepsie, we'll be able to serve New York State liquor, wine, beer, and cider. So it's not just going to be our stuff; it's going to be everybody's.
Okay.
And we're going to have a whole
Right on.
backyard with grass, kid stuff. Like we want to kind of, we're modeling. Sloop did a really great job with their place in Elizaville as well as in Hopewell, and we want to really kind of
I
model
love like the not to detract from Queen City, but Sloop's space that they have, I just see so much potential for it. Yard games and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cornhole, fucking
they
can
got the right
jam.
idea.
and
I worked with
horseshoes
their
and shit like
brewer
that.
at halftime for years. He's a great guy. He has my full endorsement.
My
great.
sister-in-law works for them.
Yeah, we know
And
that too.
that. It's my favorite beer. Their juice bombs is
they're
fantastic.
Awesome people, awesome beer.
So once we have this place in Poughkeepsie, we're going to be having, we're designing it where we're going to be able to have food trucks in the back, and also, this is our little environmental plug. The design of the building is going to have 100%. We're going to have a 0 carbon emission, so we're going to actually be a distillery making liquor and everything without using any outside energy. So we're be all solar.
You're
100%.
using all
That's
the
awesome.
words that get Hudson Valley resonance super hard
Yep.
or wet.
Yep.
Hard
that's the
or
one we're
wet,
after.
depending on
Or,
your job.
yeah, we have organic, gluten-free, zero carbon
carbon footprint.
emission. What?
Oh yeah.
It's going to cost you $100 a bottle, though. That's not true.
So it's QueenCityFarmDistillery.com. Also on Facebook and Instagram. You got the trifecta.
We
Congratulations
probably
on
went
that.
to high school with you or your older brother.
That's how also on one of our T-shirts.
The brew is called Apple Sunshine, and it's a sunshine, not a moonshine, but a sunshine, and local apples from a 200-year-old apple farm. Is there a word for that?
Heritage.
It's Apple Farm. It's an apple.
It's
farm.
just Apple Farm.
Yeah.
It's not
The oldest.
applery.
Can we say
or anything like
Nah,
that?
probably
Apiary. Like
No,
No,
apiary is the
that's-
honey.
That's
I
the
know,
honey
but
side.
like they got a fancy word
Orchard?
for it. I was
an
orchard. There you go.
It's just an orchard.
It's a sissy
Pretty
name.
fancy.
We've drank a lot of hard liquor.
Well, it's not hard.
It's pretty.
That's what she said.
Well, you're always.
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My wife is probably
You guys, it's been a
watching.
pleasure.
It's
Like
totally
my
screwed.
my lifelong dream has been beautifully fulfilled. Thank you.
From behind the curtain.
From behind the curtain.
Yeah, you.
If I would have been on
technically
the
you
open if
weren't
I could.
on the podcast.
I was near the podcast and I had my
near the
Jason.
podcast.
Maybe in the future I'll be able to operate in daylight.
You know what,
Until then.
Walt? When we open, we should have this podcast over the entire top of we'll just have it in the background music. Instead of music, we'll just have this podcast.
I think as
playing.
long as my
Yeah.
image and likeness isn't there, everything's going to be all right. As long as you keep calling me Walt, which you did. So thank you.
Well, this one.
Yeah. This time.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to check out Queen City Farm Distillery, check them out this Friday, June 7th at Mansion Street Park. They're gonna be doing tastings. You got the cocktail and the straight up. God damn, this is
If they say-
really hard to do drunk. Fucking A.
So if
Ryan
they say
doesn't
if
drink
they
that
say
much
dead
anymore.
radio, we'll give them a discount. But they got to say dead radio.
Oh snap!
There you go. If you say dead radio, we'll knock $5 off.
There you go. Very simple. Ugh, fuck. We gotta do plugs after this too. That's the fucking
Plugs?
crazy thing. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh man,
We
did we
still
talk
have to
about
do
Dan's
titles.
businesses?
Huh?
Dan's
Titles.
businesses?
We gotta do titles.
Oh yeah, my
Wait,
business
no.
is
So
give me
my
plugs.
my bedroom was unbearably hot, like stupid Africa hot, and I was like, oh my god, please make it stop. And I called him and I was like, please help me. And he put in this air conditioning unit, and now I can sleep in my bedroom in the summer.
All
and
right.
for this, he probably saved my marriage. You know, I owe him everything.
Well done, Don.
Yeah. Dan.
No, I know.
Don Rohde.
Is that your father's name?
Wilfred.
Wilfred?
Wilfred August.
That's a powerful name.
He is. War are his initials.
So for the the entirety of the show, we've been Adam has been and
You've
myself.
got one or
I got
two.
two. Have been compiling a list of possible show titles to this episode, and we're gonna vote on them
Sunshine.
right now. So, me first.
Yeah.
I have Little People Summer Camp, which I thought was cheeky and fun.
Whoops.
And did you? Oh no, I can't read my handwriting. Did you print out MapQuest? Question mark.
MapQuest.
I'm in the same boat where I can't read my handwriting.
Did you print out the?
You guys have been taking
MapQuest?
notes?
Of course
So
we have. We're
I've
professionals.
I've got Dead Radio Gimlet.
Okay.
Good one.
How many chickens do you have, Brad?
that was you did that with force, by the way. That was great.
Sammy Hagar is hard to like. And I'm going to skip this one because I don't know what I was writing. But we're better than Parisians.
Ooh, that's my vote.
So the one I couldn't,
You're biased.
the one that I couldn't read was I thought fruits were safe.
I thought fruits were safe. Yeah,
yeah, is that it?
that's what it looks like to
Yeah.
me.
We don't want that one.
Fruits
It's
were
not
soft.
good.
Soft.
But I really
are
like,
soft.
how many chickens do you have, Brad?
Anybody else?
That was pretty nice.
We have to pick from the list you
Yeah.
generated?
So
I
we
mean,
have.
Sammy Hagar.
Can you go through it one more time?
So yeah, Walt doesn't have a
All
visual
right,
here.
so
Everybody else
we've
has-
got Dead Radio Gimlet.
Little
which is-
People Summer Camp.
How many chickens do you have, Brad?
Did you print out the MapQuest? Question mark.
Sammy Hagar is hard to like. I thought fruits were safe, and we're better than the Parisians.
Gimlet.
I'll go Gimlet. I like that one.
I like Brad.
Brad, do you like the Brad
I'll
one?
take the Brad one either way.
I'll take the Brad too.
I like them both.
I like the Brad one.
I think it was just the vigor
Very
behind it.
forceful, I
There's
agree.
vigor.
Let's go with this.
So we have to add.
How many chickens do you have, comma, Brad?
No, it has to be
Question
like
mark.
a couple little dots because that was
The
that was.
ellipsis.
It has to be like.
Okay, so
how many chickens do you have?
Dot dot dot.
Brad.
It also has a
Brad.
little bit of what's that movie? Pulp Fiction. Brad. Right?
Look at the brains on Brad.
Look at the brains on
Oh,
Brad.
the big brain on Brad. Yeah.
Thank you, Waltz, for picking me up
I
on that.
love,
Alright, well
I love
done.
that movie.
All right, so hashtag Dead Radio Gimlet, and the title of the show is "How many chickens do you have, Brad?" You made it. You made it to the
in.
title.
Nice.
Congratulations,
Thanks.
guys. Thank you so much for coming.
No,
on.
thank you for
Yeah,
having
that's
us.
awesome.
Thanks
This
so
was
much.
a ton of fun. Not because I'm drunk. Just
You're not.
honestly, it was fun. And good luck, man. I think you got the right idea. I think you're on the. Yeah,
It's delicious, and it gets
Thank you
it's
so much.
delicious and it gets you fucked up.
I feel like that's like kind
That's
of
on
a
the t-shirt,
recipe.
too.
Yeah, I mean,
That should be the T-shirt.
All right, guys. Next week, seat of our
nothing,
pants.
Nothing.
Seat of our pants next week.
Figuring it out.
All right, so the outro has been going for 12 minutes, so it's time to go.
All right, so
Alrighty.
we got 5 minutes left.
So
we
one
never
more
drank-
time.
We never drank the 50-year-old Canadian
We
Club.
didn't.
We're
That's
gonna-
rye whiskey.
Are we doing that now?
I mean, why the hell?
I mean, do you want to?
I mean, my glasses are
You just
empty.
need cigars.
You don't
Yeah.
have
There's
to.
that cigar place on 9. He's like a local cigar guy.
We have to retire to
All
another
right.
room.
Let's do it
Do you
off
have
air.
a billiards room?
Let's
Do you
do
have
it
a
off
We're
billiards
gonna do it
room?
off air.
Fuck you
because
guys.
Fuck you, Mike Bleakley.
Yeah, there's an after party with the Queen City Farm Distillery. We have an after party, and I don't know that everyone's invited.
QueenCityFarmDistillery.com at Queen
City.
at Queen City Farm Distillery on Facebook and Instagram.
Levels of access.
There you go. First Friday, this Friday, June 7th. Let me make sure that that's the 7th.
Does everyone here know that like Poughkeepsie is the beginning of booze production in the United States of America?
No. How?
I
Matthew
feel like
Vassar?
that can't be true.
No,
Matthew
he's at the
Vassar.
beginning.
We can talk about it off air.
Matthew. Oh yeah.
Linger longer.
So I have like, I have a long-standing research into into Matthew Vassar as a person and as a brewer. Part of my work at Halftime was to try to open up the brewery for him, and he was brewing. He was an orphan, and he became an accountant, and then he opened up a brewery, and then he became rich, and then his brother